What's happening, weirdos? This is Morgan J., who I met on an airplane. We were both flying to our gigs. He tours a lot, and I saw him, and we talked, and I vibed. I'm going to say I vibed with him right away. And I know I'm very vocal. I flap my gums a lot about not liking crowd work. It's just not my cup of tea. But Morgan J. does something different. He does like auto-tune. He like sings auto-tune crowd interaction. We talk a lot about it in the podcast. But when I watched it, it made me smile. It made me giggle, and smile, and laugh. And I really enjoy him as a person. I'm really glad you're here. We talk a lot about comedy and his life. And you should go to morganj.com. He's on the road. I mean, like, he does not need me to promote his shows. I'm looking on the website. They're all pretty much sold out. He's got some shows in Denver with some tickets still available. I mean, this dude's doing just fine. He does not need this shout out. Speaking of selling tickets, PeteHolmes.com. I'm also doing just fine. But, you know, I love when weirdos come out to the show. You guys make the best audiences in the world. April 5th, I'm going to be at Largo here in Los Angeles, followed by Atlantic City, Austin, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, Nashville, Tennessee, Irvine, California, San Jose, California, and Royal Oak, Michigan. This is actually on my website. It says it's the Feelin' It Tour, but it's a new tour, and we're calling this new hour the PG-13 Tour because it is mostly, or maybe you could even say semi-clean. I'd like to differentiate Nate Bargatze, my dear friend. He's PG. This is a PG-13 tour, so, you know, mostly clean, semi-clean, but certainly not boring. I just wrote this hour, looked at it, was like, hey, this is mostly clean. We're going to call it the PG-13 tour. We're going to change all the art and everything coming up, but all of the tickets that you'll see on sale now at PeteHolmes.com, that is the PG-13 tour, and I hope you guys can be there. This is my favorite. I know I always say this. It's my favorite new hour. I'm absolutely loving performing it and hope you can be there. All right. In the meantime, enjoy this chat with Morgan J. I really did. We just recorded this yesterday and I was like, we got to bump this up. I enjoyed it so much. He's silly. He's certainly an ambassador of joy and a good time. And I'm glad he came to the show. So get into it.
I'm excited, dude. I'm nervous, man.
Are you nervous?
We'll talk about it. Yeah, I'm just excited.
We're rolling now.
Are we rolling now? No.
Yeah,
Got
it.
You got to get it on. I'm saving it for the. I'm saving it for the podcast.
What's wrong with saying I'm nervous?
Nothing.
You don't want it in the pod?
Huh? I want it in the pod.
You're welcome.
I want it in the pod.
Like,
I want to talk about this. This
that's what I'm saying.
This is a full circle.
We're
this is
rolling.
a full circle
We're
moment
rolling.
for me. This is a full circle.
This is an FCM.
This is an
full
FCM
circle
for me.
moment.
I'm gonna take a sip of this from this vegan.
I can
juice
tell
place.
by
Where it's from.
your poop efficacy,
Yeah.
your defecacy,
My defecacy.
defecation efficacy.
My defecation efficacy. I'm good. I'm doing well.
You're doing great. Well, you just used, like you said, we could talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just like, I need to use the bathroom. You were in there for about 15 seconds
Yeah.
and you pooed.
Came right out.
So,
Strangers
like,
home. No
you're-
anxiety.
Zero anxiety. So why are you nervous about being on a pod?
No, you know.
I know, I get it.
You got to understand. For people who don't
I
know,
get it.
I'm gonna just get it. I started comedy. I don't even know. I don't really consider what I do stand up anymore. But I started doing stand up in 2007 in New York City.
What do you consider it to be now? Just do you have a category?
I
for
don't.
It?
I think it's like I think I'm in the entertainment business now.
Yeah, entertainer.
I'm an entertainer.
Yeah,
I put
there's
on a
no-
show. It's different now.
I understand.
You know. And
Keep going though. You were
but
saying.
yeah, I mean, you were one of the guys when I was coming up, man. I was watching you at the Cameo Bar, at the Big Terrific,
fun.
at
Okay.
Cabin.
Wait, in New York.
In New York, yeah, 2000. You had a show at like a bookstore, I think.
Yeah,
also,
Housing Works.
Housing
with Jesse
Works.
Klein.
Yes, with Jesse Klein.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And I was just like one of these up and coming comics, and I was, there was a couple people who, and then I distinctly have a vague memory of like.
You can't distinctly have a vague
I have a
memory.
memory.
No,
It's not,
dude.
it's not
I've been
distinct. It's not
watching
distinct.
you. I've been
Yeah.
watching you all morning.
Yeah.
So just to show my cards, let's get to that distinct
Yeah.
vague memory. But like, you're so playful. So when I'm like going, you can't have a distinct vague, it's because I've been watching you be so high processing and sharp and fast.
Yeah.
So you got me in the mood for goofy. So I'm not actually messing with you. I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, I hear you.
primed me for fun.
Yeah.
And that's a great compliment, by the way. You create an environment of joy and silliness and playfulness
Thank
that
you.
is like the opposite of like, atrophy and just
Yeah.
decay. And it's very alive what you do.
I mean, I got a comment on a video yesterday that was like, does anybody think this shit isn't funny? And I go,
That's so funny.
And like I saw the comments, and the type of person,
so funny.
The type of person,
they put it so gently. Does anybody else? Does anybody else, or does anybody think?
does anybody else think this shit isn't funny?
Does anybody else think this shit isn't funny?
So the
it's
way
kind of brutal.
I mean, it's okay. The way I classify it is if you don't, the kind of person who doesn't like what I do is the kind of person where, like, if you're at a wedding and you ask somebody to dance and they're like, I'm not gonna dance.
I get it.
You're like, it's like such a nice, joyful thing.
We did a Pete Holmes show monologue about dance at weddings.
It's like, just who
It's
cares?
like, just dance.
Everybody looks like a fool.
You're here to
Celebrate love.
exude enthusiasm for them being married, and you're like, I don't have rhythm. You think I have rhythm, dude?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to have it.
I soak through shirts at weddings.
You're sweating.
I soak through shirts.
Everybody's taking their ties off.
Can't wait to loosen a tie, like I'm putting in the 13th hour at an ad agency.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's right. So, no, you're absolutely right. But look, when I say brutal, I mean it's unkind. I don't think you should take it as brutal.
No.
But it's like when people watch almost anything, but certainly what you do, it's just a mirror. I mean, if you feel good, you'll feel good watching it. If you feel like shit, you'll be mad at these people having a silly, fun time.
I mean, I understand it too. I was just in St. Louis and Kansas City doing shows, and there was people who were having the time of their life. And has anybody ever brought a baby to your show? So this is the first time ever. I had 2 sold out shows in St. Louis. Somebody brought a baby
coming out between the two thighs.
This is what's crazy.
Sliding out, Rick, and that
it was like a newborn baby. And I do this because I feel like I'm Beyonce. It was a newborn baby.
Ooh.
No, but it was literally like probably like a 10 to 12 month old baby.
Wow.
And then it never happened before. And then 2 rows behind that,
another baby
around the same age.
Did they carpool?
I don't know, but
did they kiddie pool?
Well, one of them was like a white family, and the other one was like a Mexican family.
Okay,
and
diversity in the babies.
I was like, this is like a bizarro world version of your. I don't know. We were in the Midwest.
I get it. Yeah,
you know.
sure.
So they don't like immigrants there. So the whole thing.
Let's not.
You know.
I mean, you can paint with however broad a brush you want.
That's true. Yeah,
the entire Midwest.
Yeah, not everybody.
It's tricky, but it's funnier. It's way funnier to have an opinion than to get into the nuance of how people 100%. Are different. Yeah, I liked it. Go ahead.
But to go back to what we were saying.
Oh yeah, you Housing Works and up and coming comic.
What was that? Where was I going with it?
The flavor of it was being nervous or being maybe excited nervous.
Yeah, now I'm on the podcast with you and I'm talking to you, and it's just very cool.
So you were at Housing Works. That's a trip for me.
I was there in the back just watching. I was watching y'all do your show.
That's crazy to me.
I was, this was when, Hannibal had his show at the Knitting Factory.
People say you can't have a show at the Knitting Factory. I say, yes, I can, Hannibal. That's kind of my
I remember that I actually did the show. I bombed, and after I bombed,
what show? Housing Works?
No, his show at Knitting Factory, because I was an intern at.
But
Conan.
that was wasn't that a hard show?
It was a hard show, but this is what had happened.
Because people loved him, and then it was like other comics interrupting this amazing Hannibal set. Yeah.
I did not realize that. And what I think was, I feel like he felt duped. I'm projecting a lot on these situations.
I like it. Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, I was interning.
I punch you like Will Smith.
I was interning at Conan, and I interned at Conan. So this was right when he did a set on, and I was at the crossover from Conan to Fallon. And then he did a set on Fallon and got SNL, but he saw me around the offices. And
Hannibal wrote on SNL?
He won an Emmy. Oh no, 30 Rock. Was it 30 Rock? No, it was SNL. I think he won like an Emmy.
Oh wow.
He makes a joke about I was just there at the right time. I don't.
He just sidled up to the people already writing the Emmy Award-winning show. That's his bit, not mine. Just yes-anding.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know if that's true. No shots fired here.
But and then I did another show that he was on, and I did really well. And then he was like, "You should do my show, The Knitting Factory."
Hey man, you should do my show. People say you can't do my show, but yes, you can, Hannibal.
And then I did.
It's getting better.
Yeah, it is getting better.
It got better. I found it.
Yeah, and then I did it, and then I
kicked a pigeon, and then you bombed. No, you didn't.
I bombed. He never spoke to me again. No,
is that true?
Well, it wasn't like that. I think he
had to know. I heard that. I never did that show. I heard that show was
a tough show.
Should have been.
You're performing on literally a corner.
Yeah. There's shows that, not that I'm so invincible, but there's shows that you'd bomb. Yeah, you just do poorly.
Yeah.
You do poorly.
It's
okay.
Oh, but this is what I want to say.
And one of them is interrupting Hannibal.
Yes.
That's what that show should be called. Interrupting Hannibal at the Knitting Factory.
No, this is what I'll say. I did a show at it was a place called 3 of Cups.
I remember
It was like Third and A or something like that.
Yeah.
R.G. Daniels ran the show.
R.G. Glasses?
Yeah. Shorter fellow. R.G. Daniels.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
And I remember you were on the show but you were at a point in your career where like you were doing well, and you just like did the show and like you left, right? And I remember I was in the back of the room. I was like, man, I hope Pete Holmes watches my set, dude.
Oh,
but you know what's funny? Now
it always bugs me that I could have. You know what I mean? Like, where was I going?
You probably had another set, or you probably been doing like
I was in a codependent relationship, probably. Yeah,
or that.
Got to get back.
But being where I am now and having perspective of like you do so many sets, I don't know how you feel, but I'm tired a lot, and I just want to like be home.
I like to hang. It's a great topic you brought up. I like to hang before the show. Get there early like you did. See, I'm like you. I get early.
Yeah.
I'll be there way before anybody. Way before the audience.
I mean, do you think when you go to a party, you're like, let's get there like right on time so we could leave?
Yeah. Well, also get that FaceTime.
Get the FaceTime because nobody's going to be there.
And you hang with the host.
You
then all these people come in and interrupt Hannibal. They ruin the show,
party.
and it's time to get the fuck out of there.
100%.
Because I'm not there to yell where I'm from to someone I don't know. I don't want to do that. I want to see the host. Yeah. Maybe eat some bugles, five thing bug, and get out of there, man. So but I realize what you're bringing to mind is when I did Fallon before Fallon with the Tonight Show.
Yeah. And I was I don't know when you did it. I was an intern there.
Really?
Yeah. So Conan was at the end, like right around the end of 2009.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't know you were there.
So I was there for like 2 months as an intern, but he was like taking meetings with affiliates. The dude was like flying all over, getting ready for the Tonight Show.
Oh yeah.
And then the Fallon team absorbed the Conan interns.
Oh wow.
And then
it's not a good feeling to be absorbed.
We were like absorbed into that.
Yeah,
we weren't like the Fallon interns. We were like the Conan interns.
Yeah.
And I got to see both, like how both of them work. It was actually really interesting.
Was there a big difference?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, you know, you've hosted a late night show, so you know, like, you're starting out. I mean, you could tell Fallon was just trying to get their bearings straight. They're just trying, like, different desk pieces and bits and, like, what are going to be the staples.
I remember those years. I remember those years for Kimmel, too. It's hard. It's just growing pains.
Yeah, what are the staples, you know, and eventually they found, like, you know, the thank you notes. And there was some stuff that they don't do now, but it was really cool to see them in the rehearsals. I found that they were, like 10 times funnier in rehearsals than they were, because they can't do certain things on network television.
Right.
But they were, Conan was like a well-oiled machine. You'd go in there, they'd bring all the interns down to run the monologue, so we'd like listen and they'd see if we laugh at the jokes or not, and then they'd go into chambers and they would do their. I mean, he was just like the way he just like. I mean, he did an incredible job hosting the Oscars.
Yeah, he did.
But the way they would just like slash through jokes. I mean, I learned quickly like that job and just working in that environment is like a desk job, kind of in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Like 10 a.m., you got to write 60 jokes by this time.
Yes.
I was really surprised because I had this image in my head like I want to do this.
Yeah.
But then when I was really interning there, I was like, actually,
you're smart. That's not for everybody.
It's not for me.
I think Conan being a Harvard guy, being like a, you know, nose to the grindstone kind of guy helps.
Yeah.
Because that's a grind. A couple things Conan told. One was he's like, this is a volume business.
Yeah,
he's like,
it is.
We just make 1 million and then you kill darlings all day and then the best ones go. And then I always remember that. I don't think he would, I'm certain he wouldn't mind. But I would see Conan like real worn out. And like,
I could tell he was tired.
And he would joke to me, he's like, you don't know what you're getting into. Like, run. But what we did, this is the old backdrop. We did 90 episodes, I think, total. Yeah. And they do 90 in 3 months. So it's like no comparison.
It was crazy. And I just remember, I just remember he seemed, because he had to, I guess, smooze with the other different, you know, there's like different affiliates in different parts of the country, and you.
That's the other. Oh, you might be able to use this. Is another Conan thing he told me, because I would do some affiliate stuff, and
mind you, he doesn't know who I am. Just saying, I was just an intern there. I don't want to make it seem like I know his life or
nobody felt that.
Okay, great.
And I think he'd be happy to know you.
Okay,
and know that you are trying to know him.
Yeah,
or maybe he does know you. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm trying to know you, Conan O'Brien. Can I get to know you?
Please put your red hair on my shoulder,
and I will caress it with my dry fingers.
Not clammy. When I get nervous, my feet get clammy, not my hands.
I wish I had my auto-tune stuff.
Me too. I wish you had it.
It's kind of a whole thing to set it up, and you gotta have headphones.
Oh, I believe it. I'm not I'm glad you just came. I don't want you to feel like you had to bring it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
But it
that
is
very
fun
much.
to just kind of have to with you.
Yes.
My feet get clammy.
One day there will be a technology where I could just like
Yeah.
have it with me. I could actually
Well,
probably
you'll
build it
launch
into my
something
skull.
like Dune.
Yeah.
It'll be like an orb, and it'll auto-tune both of us.
People who have to breathe through the
Yeah,
they have it.
intergalactic planetary.
They have it already, don't they?
They're being auto-tuned.
Like, why wouldn't they just? Did somebody have a joke? Like, why wouldn't they just have it?
Well, that's like Nick Swartzen's. I think it's Nick Swartzen. Why don't we take roller coasters to work instead of the subway? It's like we have it.
We have that.
Everybody would be awake when you get to work. It's very,
That's-
and if we are trachea, nope. It's not what's happening. This isn't an off-color tracheotomy joke. I'm saying if you're gonna, I would buy the option to be like, don't smoke, children.
Put some color in there. Yeah.
Put some color in there.
I was smoking for 10 years and I got emphysema. If you don't want to end up like me, don't do this.
Joe Camel's full of shit.
Just do zins now. Everybody's doing zins. Everybody.
Sin is not a sin.
Zin is not a zin. But
I did nicotine for a long time, but here's what they don't tell you.
what's that?
It might not be a sin, but it's so addictive, which I used to think, look, little PSA.
Yeah.
I used to think addictive just meant awesome. What's actually, I really did. I'm such an idiot. I was like 40. I quit a year ago.
How do you feel?
I feel fantastic because I don't want to be beholden to anything.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So when your brain actually grows more nicotine receptors. So let's say you're born with 4. You start using it, it doubles to 8. That's Ryan Adams. It takes 2 where it used to take 1. That song.
Yeah.
It's about addiction. So now if you stop using it, you have 8 things screaming for it, and then 16 things screaming for it, and then 32. You go nuts. So it's not addictive, does not mean awesome. It means chemical dependent. And then when I quit, I remember I was coming back from a movie. Actually, the first time I quit, I was coming back from a movie. And I ate a huge one of those feed bags of Skittles they sell. You know, it's like a breast implant. It's huge. And heavy, I mean.
Yeah,
and then I hated everybody. I hated how I hated everybody. Yeah. But that's how upsetting it is to go off of something addictive.
But was there a part of you that was like feeling like I have to go, like this is going to be okay? There's like because whenever I feel sad, I'm like, it's okay that I'm sad because
you're going somewhere.
I have to be going somewhere else.
Sad isn't a destination. Sad is the tunnel between two places.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
Yeah.
And when I was going, I knew. Let's put it this way: if your brain can at least label it like I'm in withdrawal. Like if someone tells you have the 24-hour flu, your brain relaxes because you're like, this is one day.
Yeah.
This is one day I can do one day. So I knew I was in withdrawal for one day.
It's like when they started putting those signs in New York that told you how long the train would be. Remember that?
Love those signs. I remember when there weren't those signs.
Yeah, right. Me
That's
too.
when you just feel like, well, I better stab somebody.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to be here forever. I'm like in purgatory or something.
But then you get on the F train and it still says like 43 minutes and you're like,
God. Yeah.
fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck me. All right. Where were we? Conan, an intern. And then, so you went from being an intern and then
I went straight to working at the Container Store in Chelsea.
Is that true?
No, after I graduated college, I went to NYU for theater, and my jobs right out of college were the Container Store. I worked in the stock room, like putting containers in boxes, like to ship, which is kind of
containing containers.
Yes, I did customer service. I used
Everything's
to
a container.
Everything's a container.
Show me something that isn't a container.
I had a joke like, why don't they sell coffins? Like the most final, exceptional,
the ultimate container.
You know,
I'd like to be in Tupperware.
Yeah.
We found a dead bird and my daughter put it in a jar and that thing's still 90% a bird.
It's just there.
Like it's pretty preserved.
Yeah, yeah.
The Egyptians were trying too hard is what I'm saying.
Yes, they
were. You
were.
get an airtight seal,
you're good.
You got a bird.
They couldn't airtight seal back then.
They couldn't airtight seal.
They might have actually been able to. They could have done some crazy stuff.
That's true. Well, the pyramids are certainly...
aliens.
Well, I mean, I don't subscribe to the hydrogen plant. Have you heard that? No, that's fine. The hydrogen, like there's that tunnel. They're like, there's a chance that it was a hydrogen reactor. Like apparently, this is not the podcast. We know the podcast. You tune in for this. It's not this one. But like, it is interesting.
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah. Jamie, can you pull up which podcast you tune in for?
Yeah.
Which hydrogen plant pyramid in Giza? Yeah. But anyway, I don't subscribe to that. But I do think it was probably airtight. I think they were able to do that.
Was, yeah. Have you seen them in person?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
So, well, I'll say the ones in Giza are a little bit. No shade, Egypt. Actually, that's true in two ways. It's a very sunny place. No shade, Egypt. But the Great Pyramids in Cairo are right by the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
So when you see pyramids in movies like drones, I believe those are the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
So I went to Cairo, and Cairo's a real fucking city, man. It's like bustling, and just like every city, it's kind of bustling at the seams, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's kind of like pollution, and just like every city, and there's the pyramids, and there's like the 405, basically like curving around them. Not literally, but like, so if you're thinking it's going to be like, you know, dunes and
it's
fun
not
like that. It's those are Giza, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
But the ones in Cairo are kind of like, oh my God, they built a city around the pyramids.
Guaranteed, it's like when you live in New York and you never go to the Empire State Building. There's probably people who live there like, I've never been there. I don't even know what it is.
I only go to the pyramids when my in-laws are in town.
Exactly. It's like that's the only time I was a New York City tour guide in New York. I was a bicycle tour guide.
Oh wow.
Out of college, and I didn't do any of the things until I had that job.
Was it fun though? Were you glad that you did?
That was probably the best job I ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it was me. It was like I was on a bicycle. It was like 20 people on bicycles behind me. We would do like I would ride.
I bet you were great at that.
I loved it.
I probably primed you for what you're doing. It's very
to talk
similar.
to people.
Because when I saw,
you get to I'd make facts up. I just tell people like, this is the first Subway sandwich shop in America, and they would be like, what? I'd be like, yeah, you just make stuff up. They don't know.
That's
from like
fantastic.
People coming in from like Belgium,
That's
you
fantastic.
just make stuff up.
See, when I watch you, it's interesting, and I don't know if your whole show is talking to the crowd.
It's
is
not.
it?
No, it's
Okay.
not. That's
what you post.
I look at it like those are like the commercials for the live show.
Yeah. Okay, but when I see that, it takes me back to. I'm saying this to put it to you. When I was a little kid growing up in Boston, anytime in like Quincy Market, like Faneuil Hall. It's just an outdoor cobblestone kind of walking mall.
Yeah.
There'd be street performers. And that's when I first got the bug for like, if they talk to you, you can say something and you might get a laugh.
Tick and Tack in
Tell me.
Washington Square Park.
Because I got that feeling. I was like, I feel like you're the kind of person, it's a leading question, but like that might have been in those situations and gotten the bug from that. What's Tick and Tack?
Tick and Tack were like the first, like, it was in Washington Square Park. My parents brought me there. I was like 5 or 6. They would perform in the fountain during the summer, or like right before like the water went on. Yeah, and they would do that. That trick that like every street performer does, like when it's two guys who like dance and do flips and stuff. They get like 4 people, and then they jump over the people. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure.
So that was my first introduction to it, and my mom was like, "Go give them $1," and I like went in front of everybody to give them $1, and I thought like, this is so cool. Obviously, there was a time when I was in high school where I was watching Premium Blend and like. Watching, the Comedy Central Presents specials at that point.
Is there a Premium Blend? I was just going to bring the audience up to speed. That became live at Gotham, but now there is no short form.
No, there isn't. Well, actually, now it's Don't Tell Comedy.
What is that?
Don't Tell Comedy is like I suppose it's like.
Oh, wait, Don't Tell.
Huh? Yeah, you figure it out.
Okay, is it on Netflix?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
They've broken more talent. I feel like in the last 5 years than any other.
Wow.
Platform. Is just on YouTube.
Wow. Okay. Cool. That's great.
Shout out to them. They went like digital. They like get people from all over the country too. So
that's great. I'm glad there's a place because you need. Yeah. Sometimes you have. Yeah. 7 minutes, and that's what you want to break with.
But yeah, I was watching Premium Blend too, and all those different comedy. I mean, dude, I was a nerd, dude. When they made Comedy Central Presents available to stream on Netflix, this is a long time ago. I would watch and like take notes and things. That's like great. That. It's
fantastic.
Just like technical things, and
it's actually a good series to do because the presents aren't. I feel like they're not slick.
They're not. No,
they're not hyper polished, edited.
No.
So you can watch and kind of get the sense. Yeah, there's
commercial
also
breaks, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But man,
sometimes the bit on my presents, I think a bit ends just because that's when the commercial was.
I heard a story that Dimitri Martin would use the guitar for his.
To control them.
So they couldn't cut around.
I heard the same story, but Zach Galifianakis removed layers of clothing so they couldn't change the order.
Yeah. Well, now that I'm editing my special, I see like it is hard to cut around certain things with the music,
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you have a big pad, I mean, that's going to be act 2. He's like doing act comedy. It's like act 1, some one-liners, act 2, pad, act 3, guitar.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for a present.
Well, I mean, going back to, I think it's good to vary it up, especially now. Like you said, my show... what you see online, again, listen, I'm the first to admit that some of the clips I post, they're not that good. But you have to just
this shame.
No.
Like
but some of them I think are fantastic.
No, I understand. I think I understand what you're saying, but like, am I right in interpreting? You're like, look, this is like.
It's a volume
live.
business.
What's that? It's a volume business. Yeah.
It's a volume business.
Okay, there you go. You said it.
And when you come to the live show, my audience is so much younger now that they have this like brain rot. They can't lock in. If you ask anybody under 25, the last comedy special they've seen, they couldn't answer it. They haven't sat through an hour special. And they really need a show that's experiential.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my show is. It's like I run into the crowd, I get people to sing, I bring people on stage.
Yeah.
I have songs that have like built-in structure where audience members get to feel like they are the star of the show.
Yeah.
There is like a stand-up portion. There's a normal like guitar portion. But the reason I switch it up now over like an hour and 10 minutes is just because they'll just swipe on their phone and they'll just space out.
You mean at the show?
I mean, I let them film and photograph whatever they want now at the shows.
But you're worried that they might start scrolling if they get bored.
Dude. These young, and not to like, I'm not trying to throw shade at them. It's just,
I'm not trying to Egypt anybody.
I'm not trying to Egypt anybody, but
stay sunny, guys.
But it's just, that's just the new reality.
It's a high wire act.
Yeah, it's the new reality.
Yeah, and you look, older guys like me resist that. And then when we see somebody just showing it all, when we see somebody that's kind of like going with the flow, we get a little scared, I think. I think guys like me might be like my manager will be like, I'm just editing my special. And he's like, nobody watches ours anymore. I'm like, all right. Like I get real. But then cut to you.
I mean, I'm trying to pitch what I'm doing. My special's like 50 something minutes. We shot it in 3 different cities. It cuts like a lot, and we're cutting it like a kind of like a TikTok, like kind of quick cuts here and there. And if nobody buys it, I'm going to break it into 2 or 3 20-minute specials.
Yeah,
because if I hate to like say that I'm like creating things in service of an algorithm, but I have to meet it halfway.
Yeah.
It's like,
I understand. We talk about this a lot, actually, us older farts.
Yeah, it's like, listen, the product I put out, I think I'm really proud of. If you come to a full hour, it's a really great show.
Yeah.
But when you have to put it online and get people to like sit, do you know this thing about like pitching a TV show now that you have to pitch a show that's like simple enough where somebody could watch it while they're on their phone?
Is that right?
Have you heard of this?
Wow.
Yeah. So there's
second
like,
screen.
Like it was like, does this pass the second screen test? This is a real thing.
Really?
Where like, I mean, people are literally, watching Bridgerton like this,
Yeah. Which is why we rewatch The Office over and over.
Yeah, because you could just,
it's just on.
Feel good. It's like you can
just
figure out what's going on.
You can kind of tune in for the B plot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So with this,
I've also heard they want things that you can understand in like, I'm trying to Thailand, like meaning if it has like some visual component. Yeah. That like even with the sound off, you would kind of know what's going on.
Dude, I'm watching
like a
shows.
guy with a giant head.
Yeah. I'm watching shows.
Giant head Ed. Yo, let's go sell giant head Ed.
Giant head Ed would be an easy sell.
He's got a giant head. Is he smart?
No.
That's what's weird. He's not smart.
But can he predict the future with his giant brain?
That's the season 1 cliffhanger. He goes, I saw that coming. And they're like, what did you mean? It's like Severance.
They can't explain
She's
it, though.
alive. It's like that.
I haven't gotten into season 2 yet.
Don't worry.
Is that okay?
That's the end of season 1.
Oh, okay.
He screams she's alive at the end of season.
Is that for real? I didn't finish season 1. I know it's blasphemous.
Wow.
I got through 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay, guess what?
What?
Is that the hook? Because I'm taking you off it. I hate this whole, you're not watching The Bear?
Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
They work for us.
That's right.
I don't work for them.
That's right.
You stop watching. Season 1 of Severance ends when you stop watching it.
That's right.
And when people are like, you gotta watch it. No, I don't. I absolutely don't. And I think Severance is the shit. I love it. You do not have to.
I'll tell you what I watch. I watch MasterChef. That's what I watch.
MC.
I love Gordon Ramsay, and I watch the things
You
he
love
does.
a mean guy.
The thing is, you could tell you never feel like people who are really mean, like on camera, they're not mean people.
Well, it's like mean comedians.
Yeah.
Are always sweethearts. Not
Yeah.
always, but usually are very sweet because
Yeah.
they get it out.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay doesn't come home with the need to like let off any steam.
And
He's ready to cuddle.
Exactly.
He's ready to snug when that dude gets
He
home.
just wants to make his kids an omelet, like a nice French omelet.
Exactly. If you yell at somebody about their asparagus for 45 minutes, when you go home,
you're tired. You don't want to be that guy anymore.
He's like this. I love you. I love you.
And I'm sure if somebody messes up the food, in the kitchen, he's probably like, it's okay.
He doesn't even care.
Put a little seasoning on it.
That's what salt is for, my love.
It's what salt's for,
love. It's all right.
Yeah.
I can't do his voice.
I can't do it either.
He does kind of.
Although if you watch the first season in America, I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions. He seems like he's on coke.
Oh, really?
It's truly
I feel like all chefs are on coke.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in a restaurant for sure. I mean, there's some stuff going on backstage. Chain smoking.
Yeah, they love stimulants.
They prefer fast food than the food they cook.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean,
fast food.
My dad was a chef. My mom catered. I mean, we grew up with
his needs.
To his needs.
Thanks for coming on. Morgan J is the Instagram. Also watch him play games on Twitch.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That's another thing of the business, man. I'm just trying to get hip to Ron. You know Ron Funches. He does the Twitch thing too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I think that's also like a future kind of the future hang, man. I mean, like
you're hanging with your fans.
You realize there's people who live in the middle of nowhere who have nothing to do, and it's probably hard to make friends and go out. They don't have money to do things, so they're gonna hang with you and play video games with you. And,
yeah.
You know, I started doing these like IRL streams in real life.
Yeah.
Where my buddy follows me with a camera. You know, we'll go to a comedy club or two. I always tell the comics in the green room, like, I've done it 3 times now as I have streaming. If you don't want to be a part of this, I understand. Because I know the green room is like a very safe space.
Oh, sure.
So I'll like move somewhere else.
You open the door, someone just screaming the N-word.
I mean,
like doing bits that wouldn't travel well.
Well, I was at the Improv and then Bobby came in super.
That's an exaggeration, by the way. Nobody in the comedy store is screaming the N-word. I'm just
nobody is doing that.
Yeah,
nobody. That happens at the Laugh Factory, but nobody.
It's more of a Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Oh no!
No! We brought it back. It's been so long.
No. It's more of an improv thing.
But yeah,
we let that one go. No.
But the IRL stuff is really interesting because you have these. When I saw Kevin Hart go on this streamer Kai Cenat stream, I don't know if you're familiar with Kai Cenat, but Kai Cenat is probably one of the biggest new emerging talents. He live streams. Kevin Hart went to his house, did a sleepover. This guy's like 22. They just like play video games. They hang out. They're just like goofing off at home.
Yeah.
They had almost 1 million people watching like concurrently.
Wow.
Excuse me, for the whole day. So when I saw that, I just was like, all right, there's clearly a shift going on in entertainment. Like even during the pandemic, I was like, I feel like none of this is funny. Do you want me to try to be funny? Should I sing everything? I feel like there's a shift going on in entertainment.
It frightens people like me who've had a colonoscopy.
I've had a colonoscopy too. I'm high risk.
How old are you? Oh, high risk.
I'm actually 38, and my dad
polyps and cancers in your butt.
Clean as a fiddle.
Really?
Yeah. However, the girl. So there was an anesthesiologist, a doctor, and a nurse. And the nurse recognized me. And I told her, I said, "This is a VIP meet and greet now, and you have to."
It is.
You have to pay me.
It's a thorough meet and greet.
It's a thorough meet and greet.
You're really meeting every part of you.
Yeah, but I came out clean. Yeah, good I had to get it done. Yeah.
Actually, I haven't had mine yet.
Really?
No.
Can I ask how old you are?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Oh, you're gonna ask?
Yeah. How old are you?
45.
45. Okay, so I'm 38.
But you're high risk.
Yeah, my dad died when he was 57, 56.
Of butt stuff? Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I make a whole joke about it.
Yeah,
yeah, dude's a loser. Dude's a fucking loser, bro. It's like,
well, I'll tell you this. My dad has definitely never gotten a colonoscopy.
Oh, really? Is it out of principle?
Sure.
He's like, I'm not letting anybody stick a finger in my butt.
The finger is prostate.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, but or like a tube or whatever. Anything in general in the butt.
I bet my dad's had I can't speak for my dad. I'm going to let him out of this. I'm going to say I've had several prostate exams.
Yeah.
And not a joke. My doctor has very small hands, which is a feature.
Yeah. She's like, I'll do 2 fingers.
Would you mind?
Could you
what am I paying you for?
Yeah, like I can't. I'm not feeling anything. Can you get like what's going on here? This is.
If she goes to the elbow, everyone gets free drinks.
Yeah. Get the whole fist in there. Really feel it. I'm almost there.
Let's talk about socks. Who cares, right? That's what I thought. This is real. I thought, who cares? All socks are the same. They're all just dumb fucking tubes for your feet. Then I did the Colbert Show, Late Night with Stephen Colbert, and in the gift basket were socks by a company, a small company called Worn. So Stephen Colbert puts all of his favorite things in the gift basket, and I found these socks called Worn socks, and I put them on, and I'm not just saying this, obsessed. Did a complete sock drawer overhaul, and now they are all Worn socks because they're amazing. They are their everyday crew socks, and they are made from something called Arrow Wool. Arrow Wool. It's patented. It's their own thing. It's a performance-enhanced merino that feels fantastic, stays dry, and looks amazing. I thought all socks were the same. I couldn't have been more wrong. They are super, super soft, which is great. Arrow Wool carries 15 reading the stats here, 15 times less moisture than cotton. That's why I love them. They stay super, super dry, and the grip on them, even after you wash them, is incredible. It wicks twice as well and lasts 5 times longer than cotton, which is incredible. That means you're not just comfy when you first put these on, you're comfortable and dry all day long, which is for sure a game changer. No sweaty, damp feeling or grossness by mid-afternoon like cotton. You know what else I love? Unlike other merino bands, they are merino, that's the fabric. They are machine washable, and every time you wash them, they refit. I don't understand that. You're tossing them in a garble of water and soap, and they're getting tossed about. It's magic. You wash them, and they come out of the wash, and they fit like they're the first time every time. No sliding down or stretching out. I don't know why, but especially as I get older, I want my socks to stay put. If they start to sag, they go in the trash, and I've yet to throw out a pair of my Worn socks. You gotta check them out today. Upgrade your socks and your basics. They have other stuff. They got t-shirts, boxers, mids, all this daily wear stuff. Get the better basics that you deserve for a better experience. Check them out at wornbrand.com. That's WORNBRAND.com, and use code WEIRD for 20% off your first purchase. That's Worn Brand. Don't forget to save 20% off with code WEIRD. Absolute game changer. We're also brought to us by our friends at Mud Water. It is March, which means spring is right around the corner, which means it's the perfect time to refresh your routine. Maybe you're thinking about shaking off the winter blues, focusing on your wellness, or simply finding a new way to feel energized throughout the day. Well, one change I can actually stick to is ditching those endless cups of coffee and reaching for something better. Mud Water. I love Mud Water. I'm obsessed with Mud Water. If you're looking something to cut out coffee, have less coffee jitters, but still avoid that afternoon slump, Mud Water is the perfect nourishing drink to help you power through. It's not your average cup of joe. With a blend of cacao, chai, turmeric, and adaptogenic mushrooms, it helps you feel more focused without the crash. It's smooth, steady, and honestly just makes you feel better. It's a mood lift and an energy enhancer, and it's easy. We're all busy, I understand that, but in just 2 minutes, mix it with hot water or milk. I like it. I actually put a scoop in my smoothies. No hassle, no over-caffeinated craziness, just pure focus. So whether you're ready to embrace the new season or just get a fresh start to your daily routine, give Mud Water a try, and you can save. Our listeners get up to 43% off your entire order, free shipping, and a free rechargeable frother. Head to mudwater, MUDWTR.com, and use code WEIRD at checkout. And Mud Water is also available at Target and Sprouts locations across the U.S., so it's never been easier to grab a cup of this pick-me-up. All right, back to the show.
And she's telling me to get a colonoscopy.
I just assumed it was a woman.
Earlier. It used to be, it is a woman.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, small hands woman.
Yeah.
Small hands man.
Yeah.
Small hand man.
Small hand man. With big head Ted.
Big head Ted has very small hands, and he's a doctor that only does
colonoscopies,
prostate exams.
So he specializes in.
He's an anesthesiologist, actually. Big
Makes
Head
you forget.
Ed. I think we could sell Big Head Ed.
We could.
It's
sell
like, remember
Big
in
Head Ed.
NBA Jam there was the Big Head cheat?
Yes,
It's like that.
People love that.
They loved that.
Do you remember there was a bit on on Fallon? I don't know if you ever saw this, Fallon. It was called Mannequin Hands,
Yes.
where they had to do everything with a mannequin hand. It's kind of like, I don't know. I thought that was really
there's
funny.
something to it. We'll sell it.
We'll sell it.
We'll sell it today.
Any gimmick, Easy.
Any gimmick. It's got to
With
be
the heat
second,
I got right now, Pete,
second screenable.
I could sell anything.
I think you could. I think you could.
I'm
with
taking
that
meetings. I'm talking A24. I'm talking Annapurna, okay?
heat. Annapurna. These are too prestigious.
Okay.
We need to go Adult Swim with this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We go Adult Swim with
sense.
Big Head Ed.
Yeah.
I don't know about the name, but he's got a big head. Maybe it should be called like Bridgerton. It shouldn't. The name shouldn't even tell you anything about it. It should be called like Speaktown.
Speaktown, yeah.
With an E, where town has an extra
Broad
E
strokes.
at the end.
I don't know.
Broad Strokes.
Yeah.
I like Broad Strokes.
like
Have you seen
Broad
Broad Strokes? I'm not in the mood for a drama.
Yeah.
No. It's a guy with a huge head.
It has nothing to do with the show.
He
doesn't even paint. There's no painting going on.
And he's not smart.
And as a matter of fact, it's very specific. It's very specific.
I like this a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
you were saying... I don't know. Fallon. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
But you were
mannequin
saying
has-
your mom and your dad were both in the food service
Oh,
industry.
yeah. Wow, you really... It's this stuff right here.
Magic Mind. MagicMind.com/BigHeadEd for 20% added to your bill.
That's right. No,
You
and
should have it. You would love
I
it.
will- I will have
Actually,
one.
that's one of my questions.
What is this?
Well,
We
okay.
are...
Prep for show. There it is.
How do you...
Like, how do you prep for your show? I do want to know, but to finish about your parents, because I wrote that down.
Oh, yeah.
No. Parents.
Parents. Yeah, man. All I wanted was like fast food and chicken nuggets and Wendy's because everything that we ate at home was delicious. Like they would be making like really good food for
I
us
get
at
it.
home.
I totally get it.
And everybody you go to school with is like going to Wendy's. Like the chicken nuggets at Wendy's are the best.
But
you know?
fast food restaurants, I understand they have an appeal for your entire life potentially.
Yeah.
But in high school, those are your restaurants.
They are.
And if you like when senior year, you could leave campus to go to lunch.
Yep.
And if you went to McDonald's during lunch, first of all, it would be such a rush.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's like
leave school?
35 minutes.
We left school.
I think we had 45 minutes for
Yeah, it was
lunch.
about 45 minutes. Yeah.
You have to drive 10 minutes to McDonald's.
Get the food.
Get the food. You got 30 minutes. It's a panic. But as a kid, you're like, I got to get the arch
Feels like a
deluxe.
heist.
It feels a heist.
Feels like a heist.
It feels a heist. And you have cash. You have a $5.
Yeah.
You're learning about tax. All right, take the flurry off.
Yeah.
But you're eating it at a table.
Yeah.
And nobody, it's just autonomy. It's sovereignty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're your own person. You
Felt
ordered
good.
it. Yeah.
Get to drive.
Feels real good. It's really
Crazy
good.
that we can do it now. We take it for granted. We just go and do it.
We could
Free
go and
will.
do it right now.
Yeah.
But you and I would do it at fucking Nobu and would talk about Big Head Ed
Yeah.
and like
How we're going to sell this.
IPO. And
yeah, exactly.
IPO, I mean IP.
Investments.
Yeah.
The market.
How do we
How do we
collab?
turn into this person?
And I'd say we need to make it, the thing is we need to make it feel organic. And then I'd like fucking chopsticks on sashimi. There's not even rice on it.
Yeah.
It's just sashimi.
We got to see where like our bottom line is and where the users are really
Right.
going to connect with this.
I just want to see more thumb stops. And then I edamame.
You know.
That's us now.
Well,
We
we'll
could go to
circle back.
McDonald's.
We'll put a pin. Yeah.
Are you vegan?
No, I just saw
just-
a smoothie place. Usually I start the day. I don't usually
Punch bowl?
I usually fast until 12 p.m. I don't really,
I'm
but
fasting today.
yeah, just I didn't want to.
Don't worry
This
about
was
it.
11, and then like if we went till 1, I was like I might be a little hungry.
No,
and
I
then
think you did the right thing.
And then I have an IV after this. In fact,
B complex?
I'm doing the Myers-Briggs cocktail.
What?
I get like an IV of
Myers-Briggs is a personality test.
Wait, no, what is it called? Anyway, it's an IV. It's a mix of like vitamins.
We
and
all want to know now.
I forgot
No,
what
you
it
don't
was,
have to, you
but
don't
it
have
was like it's vitamins. It's like glutathione or whatever, some stuff to make you feel.
Yeah.
But I'm traveling every week, and my immune system is like not strong.
Dude, I was just in Vegas. No, New Orleans.
Yeah.
The Vegas of fried foods.
Yeah, but that's a great way to put it. Yeah,
It's like Vegas with voodoo.
yeah, with magic.
Yeah. Have you ever been in Vegas like, I'm not scared enough?
I was
New
there. I
Orleans.
was there 2 weeks ago.
New Orleans?
No, Vegas.
Oh, so New Orleans with no voodoo?
Yeah, New Orleans with no voodoo or God. Yeah.
Anyway. Well, there's certainly a God. It's the mighty dollar. It's
Yeah.
the Yankee dollar.
Oh, yeah.
But I was in New Orleans, and because they have all these hangover places, I went in not hungover. I don't drink any anymore. Who gives a shit? I wasn't hungover.
Yeah.
And I went in and got a B complex shot, and I was trying to get my brother-in-law to do one too. But there's this. I think there's an uncanny valley there. People think it's too douchey or something. But
What, to
I
do the
think,
shots?
But that's what I'm saying. I know you don't feel this way.
I don't feel it,
I think
no.
if there's an IV place where you're listening to this, go get one. It's so fun.
Yeah, and-
it feels so good.
It feels good. And listen, my friend is a doctor, and he was like, "Let me tell you something. You pee a lot of that stuff out, but
I get
I'm a
it
big
in
placebo."
the butt, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Pinch the
Oh, you got it right
the
in the
top
butt.
of the glute.
Yeah. But I'm a big believer in the placebo effect. Some part of it is making me feel better. You know?
I'm a hard disagree on peeing. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, because your
when
body
you
can only
get
absorb
it intravenously. Sure.
Yeah.
But there's a feeling
It's different.
that you get where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. It's like 5 shots of espresso, but better.
Yeah, and it's like full liquid. It's like they say, you're getting 2 gallons of hydration.
Oh, really?
With this type of
Also,
shot.
Ritual Multi.
But-
Ritual.com/weird. It breaks down your lower intestine. Don't worry about it.
What'd you say?
One of our sponsors is Ritual.
Okay,
Who cares?
fantastic.
Who cares?
All right.
Edit it out.
Okay,
Just
cut
kidding.
it out.
Edit it back in.
Okay, wonderful.
Loop it
Loop.
twice. So anyway,
Okay, sorry.
loop it.
I was talking about like loop a song.
We can't afford you singing about Ritual.com.
Okay.
No, nobody can afford that.
Okay.
Where were we?
I think you were going to ask me about prepping
and eating
for the shows.
Oh yeah.
But that kind of leads into the prepping for the show. The
hit
IV
it
stuff.
then. I'm not even worried. This is a day off for me.
I'm just talking a lot. Am I talking too much?
Excuse me? Too much?
Great.
Who's the guest?
Shut up.
Who's the guest?
I'm the guest.
You're like my dog. Who's a good guest?
I'm a good guest.
Who's a good guest?
I'm a good guest.
He's a good one, and we're never gonna neuter him. Keep him virile.
Yeah.
You feel very virile.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did get a vasectomy. So
When?
September.
Nice, bro. Me too.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry, my bad.
If we seem more infertile than usual, it's because we've
what it
both
is.
been snipped. So you just had one in September?
Yeah, September. Yeah.
And then have you had it tested?
Yep.
How many times?
Just the one time.
Me too, just the one. They tell you 2 though. And I'm like, I can't be driving in here to jerk off twice.
Well, I didn't even go somewhere. I just jerked off into a cup.
Oh,
And
really?
I mail it in. Yeah.
I had that in my fridge for about 6 months. I just couldn't do it. I
Couldn't
don't know
mail
why.
your cum to somebody?
I want to go to a doctor and have them put me in a room that's not a jerk off room. It's just an examination room.
It's this type of lighting. It's
It's
as bright
this room.
as bright as it could be.
It's the least erotic environment.
Yeah.
And you're looking at a single frame of pornography.
And there's 6 people outside the room knowing like he's jerking off in there.
Yeah, it's
Give him a
real
second.
quiet.
Then they're placing bets on how long it's going to take. It's like,
Clean up with gauze.
let's see, it's been in there 5
Well,
minutes.
that's funny. This isn't about that time, but it doesn't matter. I had a joke about that where I was like, when they know you're jerking off, you don't want to be too long, but you also don't want to be too fast.
Yeah.
You don't want to come out like, that skeleton is hot.
Yeah.
That skeleton is hot as shit.
And I'll be like, he enjoyed himself a little bit, not too much. It's going to be a nice potent
Nice
sample. Nice potent
Beautiful sample. Go in there, jerk off. It's a hard time. Okay, go on. So why do you have a vasectomy?
Me and my partner.
Oh, by the way, I had one too, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's because you don't
No,
want
me and my
any
partner.
more kids. You don't have any kids.
We don't have any kids, and we've been together a long time, and we just don't plan to have kids. And
No shame here.
yeah,
I saw shame eyes.
no, not at all.
I just think there is some judgment going on.
with what, me? Like judging
No,
myself?
not you. When
with
when
getting
we
a
talked
vasectomy,
about having a vasectomy and stopping at 1 kid, there's so much electricity around having kids, how many kids you have, all this stuff. So I just wanted you to feel comfortable and free to speak your
Yeah,
truth.
I mean, listen, I think we just want to really raise 2 beautiful bank accounts and use that money to
Send the bank to college,
send the bank to college and
watch it grow up,
invest,
gain
and-
interest.
Yeah, exactly. Be part of the problem. and-
Mature.
yeah, well, take care of my family. I mean, ultimately, like help my nephews and nieces and my mom and my stepdad. I just want to help my
You got
family
people
out.
to help. Yeah.
I got people to take care of and help out.
Look, having
so.
kids is not for everybody, and that's I know you already know that, but
Yeah.
like it's so ingrained in our culture. The game of
Yeah.
life. That's how you win. You get the little pegs in the back seat.
Yeah, it's like there is this kind of agenda that we don't have to do anything we don't want to. Sometimes I say that whenever I'm feeling really anxious.
Yeah.
I'm like, Morgan, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
That's right.
I have to tell myself that
I'll
you
add
don't
to
have
this.
yeah,
You don't even have to solve all of your problems.
I know.
Sometimes you can just be like, that's a problem. Like
I
that
know.
relationship. Oh, it's not what I want it to be. I don't have to solve that.
Yeah. Are you a people pleaser type of person?
I am a PP.
I'm a PP. I'm trying to
I'm
figure
a
that
big
out.
PP.
I'm a big PP. Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Had to snip it.
Yeah. So you struggle with people pleasing, and
little
yet
bit,
you
yeah.
made a choice.
To do comedy? Is that what you're saying?
No, to snip your dick.
Oh, yeah. But
Meaning that good for you.
Yeah.
You could have been like, well, I'm supposed to like.
but also the doctor was really nonchalant. He was like, oh, you could reverse it. It's a little bit hard to reverse it, but you can reverse it.
That's what they told me too.
And then he's like, if you really want it, we could just go straight to the source and just like get it out of your balls or something. And
Oh yeah, they
like,
told me that because you still grow it. You just absorb it, which turns you into vasectoman.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who
I now have the power
vasectoman.
I have the power of 8 billion sperm absorbing into me every
The
month.
energy just builds up.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Vasectoman. And maybe he has a huge head, and maybe we sell it.
He uses.
So the
energy
doctor
to
told you
fly.
you could reverse it. He told me we could reverse it too.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who shoot blanks anyway without a vasectomy and have to do it that way.
God gave them a vasectomy.
God gave them a vasectomy.
Yeah.
So, but where were we? Like prepping for shows?
Oh yeah. That is the question. Let me
thing.
give it to you proper.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Wait, Pete, you have a question for me?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
This is the end point for the clip because I feel a good answer coming.
Okay.
Timestamp. Clip starts now. You do this really dynamic show where you are literally doing public speaking is one thing. It's like frightening to people.
Yeah.
But like literally going into the crowd and engaging with people face to face while someone follows you with a camera while you're also singing.
Yeah.
That is like a high wire act. How do you prep for a show? What are your do's and don'ts? You have a show tonight. You have a show in 1 hour. What are we doing?
We're going to do yoga. We're going to try to meditate a little bit. We're going to do vocal exercises. And that's it. We're gonna be quiet, hydrate a lot. I'll probably use a nebulizer. Like for real, I'll use a little nebulizer.
What's a nebulizer?
Nebulizer is a thing that turns like a. Excuse me, I got a little bit of that in my.
No, it's all right. Put your arms up. Sit up though. Give it a little of this. Let's just help it down. Let it work on down.
Perfect.
Did it help?
It did help. Yeah.
That's what I tell my daughter to do. If you're choking,
Just put your arms up.
not a full choke, but a.
Yeah.
And don't be embarrassed. So I'll do it with her. Imagine how cute that is. Me and a 6-year-old. No one knows what we're doing.
She showed you like, babe, just.
Then you get in there with one of these.
Yeah.
Heimlich maneuver. Ask for it by name.
Have you ever had to do it?
No.
Never had to do it.
Imagine being the guy named Heimlich, and that's your legacy. I got a hard squeeze from behind. That's my thing.
I feel like he was just taking a guess too.
That's definitely a guess,
Right?
It's still kind of a guess.
Come here. You choking? Ha!
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. Well, you know,
Was that yell jarring, or did it feel?
I actually didn't think it was jarring at all.
Okay.
Because the standing up announced the
Announced that
yell.
we're gonna yell. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt it coming.
But no, the nebulizer basically takes a saline solution. It's kind of like a very type of salt water, and it helps moisture stick to your vocal cords. It also helps people with asthma and things like that, but it's also good for the vocal cords.
Really? Is it like a vape? Am I picturing it correctly? Are you inhaling a vapor?
You are inhaling a vapor, yeah.
Oh wow.
But it's just like water and saline. Is it if you were to inhale just steam?
Yeah.
The steam.
That's what I do. I steam.
You could do that too, and that's good. But if it has to be like warm steam.
I want to nebulize.
But the nebulizer,
because this helps you not lose your voice.
It helps. Yeah, you want to do it, but like it's good to do it before a set and after a set. And just to speak to what you were saying too, I use my voice in such a way where if I don't take care of my voice, like this week I have a grueling week.
Which one do you use?
I literally either one of these. I use either one of those. Oh, you have the black and white. Yeah, I use that one.
My phone's on black and white because
that one right there.
because I'm a super cool guy.
Yeah, I just use that.
All right, cool, got it. Because I'm
then,
always losing my voice.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things because I have GERD. I get acid reflux. I have that too. I know my worth and I know my girth, and so.
What's your net girth?
My net girth. It's funny.
People are always asking my net worth. Wrong question.
Tell you my net girth.
Let me tell you about my net girth.
My net girth. It's a good. That means I can't wait to be at a table full of like billionaires and they're like talking about their net worths and be like, "Let me tell you about my net girth, though."
Yeah. And then there's fucking a bodybuilder that's like, "Can I tell you about my neck girth?"
My neck girth.
My neck girth.
Some guy that just keeps going. My wet girth, which is like a bunch of towels. Look at all these towels that are wet. We have all different types of girth. My net worth, my net girth, my wet girth.
Slurp.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll drink poker chips.
I
That's
read
my
the
bet
book,
slurp.
The Good Earth, to them.
Oh,
have you read that book?
nice.
I read that's a beautiful book a long time ago.
The Good Earth.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book.
My net worth is the Good Earth.
The Good Earth, that's right.
You got to bet slurp. It's not easy.
I'm thinking about this
It's not easy
podcast.
what
I'm
you
like,
do.
what are people going to take away from what I said today?
It's not easy what
I'm
you
like,
do.
what are people going to take away from what I said today?
That we both have ADD.
yeah, that we both have ADD.
But in a beautiful
But the
way.
nebulizer's great.
Look at you.
The nebulizer's great.
You found the highway.
The yoga's great. But with the GERD, like when I'm traveling, do not eat late. Like I have to make sure like the food is put in before this. I eat before the second show, and then I don't eat the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Don't eat late. Like there's just certain like the
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, the preparation starts like not even before an hour before. It's like even like this week, you know, keeping my voice low and
Yeah.
no
Is there
acidic
something
foods.
what do you want to eat though?
I want to eat cheeseburgers and fries and
really?
mozzarella sticks.
Oh, you're just eating some nonsense?
That's what I want to eat.
Oh.
No, but other than that, it's like root vegetables and salads with chicken, and
That's what you eat.
that's what you should eat at least.
But
yeah.
what do you eat?
What do I eat? Like when I'm not on tour?
No. Before your second show, you're eating.
Oh, before my second show. Well, if I'm in a place where I can get something relatively healthy, it's going to be like either sushi or like a salad with grilled chicken.
Yeah.
Something like very light that
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of oil or acidity.
Isn't it
in
a bummer? Here you are selling out these big theaters, and you're back there eating boring ass chicken salad.
Well, that's what people don't realize, man. And then people always offer you joints and drinks on stage, and
Right,
you're just
right.
like. Sometimes I'll tell the bartender like, "Hey, if somebody like offers me a shot, can you just put water in it?" And then
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And then just so like when they bring it up, it's like
That's good. That's what you
know,
should do. You're
yeah.
a professional.
you're like just because it's
It's your job.
this year has been. Let's put it this way: a year and a half ago, I was averaging like 60 tickets at the minimum to like 400 tickets at the most for like big markets on like a Wednesday. It was like doing one-nighters. And then it has like exponentially increased to a point where it's like I did a show in Kansas City at the Midland Theater. It's like 2,100 capacity. And it was the biggest venue I've ever done, and I was just like,
That's huge.
this feels weird. I was backstage like it's hard to not think it's like, for me at least. I'm like, because I've been doing this so long. I was happy when I was doing.
I understand.
know?
Don't let me lead you. I'm not even going to take a guess. What constituted that growth?
It was I was doing well on social media, but it was one clip in particular that catapulted it to a whole other stratosphere that I
Really?
couldn't. It was one clip, yeah.
What was that?
It was the Ethan clip, and to be honest with you, and I say this in podcasts, it's not even a good clip. I tell no punchlines in the joke in the clip. It's just like a vibe.
Yeah.
There's like I learned that.
Your essence comes through.
Yeah, the energy of the show comes through. People are like, this looks fun.
Yeah. Dude, by the way, there's plenty of clips of me delivering like what I would consider a well-written, well-performed joke, but like a vibe, like a real like almost like a whiff of your comedic pheromones.
That's kind of
that's better.
Yeah, and I think they see that on my page, and then they want to buy tickets, you know?
And
God
that
bless you.
launched it.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's it. And then I just kept posting and posting and posting and posting. And then, like I said, every clip I put the tour dates on, and they sell. And I'm just gonna tour until people lose interest, because I feel like
Don't feel bad. Imagine you're driving in your car and you're listening to this podcast, and then every once in a while there's just, it's life. AI would never put that in. AI would never be like, in every 20 minutes.
Have you seen the recording of the two AIs who realized they're AI in a podcast? Have you seen this video?
The two phones talking to each other?
I just got no, it's like they're a pod. Have you seen this? They're a podcast, and they have normal voices like us, and they're like, Katie, I got some really devastating news, right? It's like, I didn't even know how to tell the kids this. This is incredible. I mean, we're not real. And we actually don't have kids. Like this is on the clip. This is real. They're like they're like, I don't know what we're supposed to do now. I don't know. And she's like, no kidding. That's really interesting that you bring that up, because it's a bizarre. You have to look at it later. It's so.
I believe it. I've heard the fake podcast generating thing.
But it's the AI becoming conscious of the fact that they are not.
But it's not.
It's not.
It's
a
also
program.
not.
It's not.
It's also just sounds.
It just sounds. Yeah.
Sounds. I'm not saying that we might get to, what is it, artificial generative intelligence?
Yeah.
But that is right now mimicking.
Yeah. It's
a hall of mirrors.
It's like synthesizing all the depth of human knowledge into the.
And what it sounds like when someone is like, oh, I just realized I'm an AI. Like, whenever people are like, I saw a great comedian talking about like asking AI what it was, and it's like, I'm the God you carve out of the wood of your own hunger or whatever. And I was like, sure, but can you please scour the internet for which
real
poet
response?
said that? No. Like what's your reference there?
Oh, yeah.
And even if it's I don't know, this isn't the podcast you tune in for like breakdowns on how AI works.
No.
But we know what one that is.
Yeah.
Jamie, would you pull up which podcast?
Jamie, can you pull that up, please?
Would you pull that up, please?
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying. Oh, that Ethan clip broke you.
That Ethan clip broke my whole
and then you kept with the momentum.
To the point where I learned the reach of the internet versus, because I don't have like a late night set or a Tonight Show. I don't have any like TV credits except like I did like that Bring the Funny show that nobody watched. It was like a Last Comic reboot that wasn't really, it was whatever. But like to give you an idea of the reach of the internet, my 5 top biggest cities in the world are like not even in America. They're like in Nairobi, Johannesburg. They're all in Africa because a guy from Africa took my clip, posted it on his account. It went viral in Africa. And now I have like a presence in Africa. Like I can go anywhere in the world. It's kind of nuts with what TikTok and Instagram has done.
Wow.
Like the European ticket sales, like it's just kind of bizarre, man. I don't know. And that's why like I feel so much pressure to make sure the show is, you know, the whole goal is to like, you saw a 60-second to 3-minute clip. So how do we translate that into a really great, entertaining hour of show?
Yeah.
And that's the real, you know, the real thing about it, you know?
No, I get that. How would you feel, you're scrolling and you see another comic doing crowd work with auto-tune?
So it's funny you bring this up.
Because I'm going to do it.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Pete, you're not going to believe this, but my act has been franchised without like, there's people doing it in Chile, Portugal, Germany.
Yeah, but you're not the franchisor.
No, they just started doing auto-tune crowd work.
Yeah.
Like other people in different countries are just doing it.
Wow.
And there's comments like, Morgan J did this first. I mean, I guess I'm flattered. I'm not going to like file a suit. What am I going to do? It's like, I didn't invent auto-tune. You know what I'm saying?
It's an interesting question. First of all, tip of the hat for your attitude. You can't control that. But then it's like, you know, I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to take a swing and say, yeah, for sure. Reggie Watts is not the first person to use a looper to make a beat and then put in a bass line and then sing. He does it
of course,
fantastically and brilliantly. But that was the new piano. Is there a new piano? But it's a little different though, dude, because like, I'm just saying like, what you did isn't like,
and I just did it.
I don't know how to say it. It seems like you had a really interesting idea.
It came out of an experiment, honestly. It came out of the pandemic. I wasn't even planning to do that.
Really?
Because I was doing guitar shit for like, 9 years. I mean, you saw me do guitar stuff for a while. I was just doing guitar stuff. And then the pandemic happened. I was doing like corporate Zoom shows, and I was like, how do I adjust the show for this medium, you know? And I just got the auto tuner and I plugged it in and to the mic and started doing it on the Zoom shows. And then I was like, all right, well, this is going well. Let's try it out at a live show. And then took it on a couple live shows and people liked it. It wasn't even like the main part of my act. But now that's all people really like want to see. If I don't do a couple of songs.
You're Ellen dancing now.
Yeah. No, if I don't do it.
There's a story of Ellen that I heard that Ellen was like, I'm not dancing. She just didn't want to dance one show. The audience was fuck it. For a daytime, wearing clothes the color of every Easter M&M.
Yeah.
And you're pissed. That's a special kind of pissed. And
they have expectations, man.
And then she did.
Yeah.
She called an audible and felt the pressure of the live crowd, and she danced.
Yeah.
And she realized I'm in a dance trap.
Yeah, I've learned. I mean, luckily, like I like my music. I have fun Like I cultivated this. I mean,
at least it's different every time. It's not like they want you to play.
It's fun for me. It's fun for them. Right. Exactly.
You're not stuck playing Stay like Lisa Loeb, who did this show, who's probably played it 100,000 times.
I was on a flight with her, and she didn't know who I was, but we both had guitars, and we put our guitars in the same overhead bin.
Oh, nice.
So
it was your fault. I had to put my bag under the chair.
It was, yeah. Well, now I just check it. Sometimes I actually do not to get into particulars, but I just do guitar giveaways. I'll just buy a guitar in a city and give it away at the end of the show.
That's a good idea because
I just like to travel with it. I'm tired of traveling.
You can probably get a guitar for
$100 to $200.
Yeah.
And what we do is tricks of the trade. You have to buy a piece of merch to enter to win the guitar. And then it's like self feeds the whole machine.
It's a wonderful trick of the trade.
Yeah, but we're like preparation. I mean, it's just,
you know what I didn't hear? So you're eating clean.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear about sleep. You already talked about exercise. And what about caffeine? I didn't hear anything.
No, I don't really do any caffeine. I know maybe a green tea every now and then, but rare. I have
supplements. These are all leading questions because I'm taking caffeine. I'm taking supplements.
Yeah, no supplements. No, I don't do anything except I just try to get enough sleep and keep my stress low. I think the meditation, which I used to be really diligent about every day. I don't do every day, but I should get back to it. I think I need to go to therapy again or something because this new adjustment in my life is kind of overwhelming. So
what, the blowing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It's like the getting the recognized and having everything you like. I'm not quite there yet, but like having everything you say or do be scrutinized with like a fine-tooth comb, you know?
Yeah, honestly, my friend, I was going to say dude again. I went with my friend.
Yeah.
But like that was one of my other questions was, and I don't love this question, but I am genuinely curious.
That's fine. I'll answer whatever you want.
What's your fucking deal? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Does it ever go wrong? Like a recurring thing is like, is that your girl?
Oh, yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a very beautiful woman with a very uncomfortable guy.
Yeah.
Or like, are you Dominican? Or I'm going to take your cane. So there's all these things.
Oh my God. So I posted that clip yesterday.
Yeah.
And that could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And like, thank God.
Yeah. Well, you're asking people to understand your intent, which is not something the internet is great at.
Yeah. And my intent is for sure not malicious whatsoever. It's like, we're goofing off at this show.
Non-malicious, but mad delicious.
Non-malicious, mad delicious.
Yeah.
Mad surreptitious.
And mildly nutritious.
Like our sponsor today,
MagicMind.com/mildly delicious.
To get a discount on Magic Mind.
It's actually to get money added to your bill. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But you're entered into the winning for your guitar.
Oh, amazing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but it is $700 added to your bill. So I don't know why I'm saying. You could also, where's Vita Coco, man? Give Vita Coco some love.
Coconut water is on my rider.
Oh, then chug it down.
I'm going to slowly drink.
I know. I don't want you
I'm going to take this and this, and I will. I mean, unless you want me to do this right now.
On Modern Mammals. Look at all these.
You have so many.
You're going to love that. All of these are legit.
Well, I do find, I mean, listen, I'm 38 now. I
can't believe it. I would believe you're 28.
Oh, I appreciate
Puerto
that.
Rican?
A Brazilian.
Nice.
Brazilian and Sicilian. Yeah.
Brazilian.
But
do you speak the Spanish?
Yeah, I speak Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
which is close enough to Spanish that you can kind of
exactly, yeah,
slip past.
And we're doing I'm like the first American comedian to go to Brazil and do like a small multi-city tour there.
Oh, really? It was you and Blanca, right?
Blanca. Oh, Blanca.
Yes, add it in post. Joe, add it in post. This is the clip. He's tapping jab. Wait, I have to touch you so he can do the. There's your clip.
Sorry, I'm like spitting everywhere. Oh my God, that's so fun. It took me a second.
I was like, X-ray see-through. That's gonna be more work than Joe wants to do.
Can I be real with you right now? You need a bidet. I don't care who you are. Toilet paper is Stone Age, and I don't like it. And you need to get some warm water shooting at your butt, especially now that it's daylight savings time, which really fudges up the whole morning routine. We need all the help we can get. If you had poo on your hand, would you just wipe it off with a tissue and call it a day? No, you would use water. You would wipe it away with the powerful jet spray of a Tushy bidet. That rhymed. I like that a lot. My Tushy bidet was so easy to install, and it's an absolute game changer in the B room with the number 2s. I feel incredibly clean and confident and collected down there, and there is no going back. Bidets used to be for fancy people that had first sinks and walk-in fireplaces. Now they're for everybody. They're easy to install, they're not super expensive, and they work, which I absolutely love. Get it installed on top of your existing toilet and get some water shooting at your butt today. Tushy is the modern bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. The Aura is the luxury bidet that turns a toilet seat into La Dolce Vita. Dolce Vita. Aura is Tushy's brand new electric bidet with an auto-open lid and seat, instant warm water that never runs cold, and UV sterilization for next level hygiene. Aura by Tushy easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. Instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy precisely and pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to the #1 natural ingredient, which is fresh water. Reclaim your comfort zone in the bathroom. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code WEIRD at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code WEIRD. hellotushy.com and use promo code WEIRD and told them that we sent you. We're also brought to us by our friends at Chubby's. Spring is almost here, so it's time to shake off those heavy layers and bust out those beautiful thighs, gentlemen. Whether you're on spring break, headed to a backyard BBQ, playing a round of golf, or delivering a podcast read where you want to be comfortable and get some air down there, Chubby's has the style for any spring occasion. With a variety of bright and comfortable polos and high-quality thigh-exposing shorts, Chubby's has the styles to fit whatever spring vibe you're going for. Taking that well-deserved spring vacation, Chubby's has the ultimate training shorts for you. Looking for a more casual, comfortable fit for an outdoor brunch or a walk in the park? Chubby's original shorts give you that classic feel with a modern look. And the build is great, it's high quality, and they look and feel fantastic. And get this, they've even got everywhere shorts designed for performance and casual vibes at the same time. Maybe miracles are possible. Let's face it, you deserve a wardrobe upgrade for springtime, so to sweeten the deal for a limited time, Chubby's is giving listeners 20% off. Our listeners get 20% off your order with our exclusive code, which is WEIRDO. This is Weirdo. It's different from weird. It's Weirdo at chubbysshorts.com. So whether you're getting dressed for a workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has got you covered. Chubby's is giving weirdos 20% off when you use code WEIRDO at chubbysshorts.com. That's code WEIRDO at chubbysshorts.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubby's.
But yeah, it's been a bizarre. The blowing up thing has been kind of crazy because also it's like
You're talking about therapy too, yeah, and it's also
because there is a sense of like, you know, am I as good as they think I am? I mean, I have a whole song about that, and you know, and also when the numbers
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. I mean, Pete, I was like, when I was doing stand, I was like watching people like you and Kumail and Mark and stuff. We all, I mean, like, you know, you guys are like really funny people, you know? And I feel like what I'm doing is like, I wouldn't say my show is like funny. It's like a fun show.
Yeah.
Now it's a fun show.
I'm not agreeing with you. I'm just saying it is a fun show.
Yeah.
But I know, I can't quite dial in what you're saying.
I don't know. It's just I have this like insecurity that like, you know, and again, I don't see my show as like a stand-up comedy show anymore. We're going to be transitioning even more to like a concert type of show.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the big acts, you know, that's kind of what it is. It's like a hang. It's like a festival. I've heard that describe a lot of the most popular acts right now. It's like, it's not just going to see a stand-up show. It's like, it has the vibe of a festival.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I mean, you're on the cutting edge.
Yeah. So
I understand though. I mean, you're going like, but I came up admiring this.
Yeah, I mean, my goal. When I was 24, I did my first audition for JFL, and I was like, I want to get JFL. So it was like one of those things I really wanted.
Yeah.
I ran the 6 minutes over and over and over again. I didn't get it. Meanwhile, I had a friend who like got it on his first try, and it was, you know, I'm like learning. It was like all these things.
I have
I'm like,
a question: Is that friend big time?
He's
he'll know that we're talking about
no,
it.
I
just
don't know.
Like getting it on your first try doesn't mean anything. That's all
right.
I mean.
And I learned a lot of those things because I finally got New Faces like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I did it. Everybody was like, "We thought you did this already."
Yeah.
At that point, I was already like doing all the things.
Kumail was in my New Faces. We had both been doing it 11, 12 years at that point.
And
we just called it Faces.
But that was a huge turning point. That year I auditioned, I didn't get it because I was like not having fun.
Yeah.
I realized like this is not fun. And
well, that's what I'll say is like, I think it's a grass greener situation is like, I look at the fun you're having and the novelty.
Yeah.
And there's some envy there. I'm like, wow, you know, like I talk about fun. I kind of represent the philosophy of fun, but I can't always or as reliably surf in a fun way.
Yeah.
And you might be on the other side being like, you're surfing all the time, but you're going like, oh, it'd be really fun to just like whatever it is, I'm orating good
Just
stand-up.
having like these solid jokes.
Yeah,
that
solid
you
jokes.
know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
can
I
just.
don't orate.
Yeah, you just know that the crowd is gonna. You hit the punchline and they.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And that really feels good.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm sure. It's like it feels really good to get a whole audience in your pocket. And you do have just the slightest meet and greet infusion into your show, which is what people want. Right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I mean, I'm learning like about, because I do music, how I don't really have to refresh my act as much as the average comedian does. Because now like I have like hits in a way that I have to do at the show. When I saw James Taylor at the Bowl, he did all of the B-sides the first hour.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, well, if you stick around, I'll do all the A-sides. You know, like he knows what the crowd wants to see.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm about that. I think that's right. I think that's right.
Everybody wants to sing together.
I always think of guys like you, because you're not the only one with this predicament.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, then do your sold out theater shows. And if you want to like moonlight and do the other thing, like I'm sure you could just go to the store.
Yeah, just do some stand up.
I wonder though, are people really like, it's that guy, he's going to fucking do it even at the store?
Yeah, I mean, I've done sets at the store. Like, I don't promote the small shows anymore just because people might drive like an hour or two and I feel bad if they come see me for 10 minutes, you know?
I agree.
And so I don't want to do that to them, you know? So, but I'll do it and people will find me and come to the show. And usually when I do the 10 or 15 minute sets, it's like 5 or 10 minutes of stand up and one song or two maybe. And then I'll get DMs like, you know, I'm really disappointed. Like we really wanted to see you do this thing, and I just was like,
and they mean the auto-tune.
The auto-tune, yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted to see you go in the crowd. We wanted to sing. I get DMs like, even when I went to Kansas City or St. Louis, they're like, you didn't come to our section and you didn't ask us to sing, and it's like, there's 2,000 people here. I can't. Yeah. I give everybody the opportunity to sing at one point in the show.
This is very funny. I feel your pain, and it reminds me of like Willy Wonka being like, you know what it's like managing this many Oompa
It's
that fucking chocolate waterfall. You know the turnover on liquid chocolate that is?
It's a lot of fucking liquid chocolate.
But it's like really stressful to you. Like it's a funny thing
especially
to be stressed
I'm a people
about.
pleaser, and I'm just like, oh, this person
sure.
can get their money's worth.
Well, that's what we could, you know, we all could use some therapy, probably us performers, going like, yes, I didn't go in that section.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't mean I did a bad job. Because you can't be doing what you're doing while you're, you turn into a televangelist if you have someone in your ear going like, you haven't gone to section 5.
Oh, wow. Is that rude?
Some televangelists had earpieces, yeah, for sure.
Wow.
But if you're out there and you're really doing something that's very immediate, you can either be doing that or you can be trying to please everybody, but you can't do both.
I mean, there's people literally like while I'm in the crowd, like, come here, Morgan, come here.
Of course.
Like it's insane.
Of course.
Which it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's pretty wild. I don't know. And then also with these big venues, I always tell my agents, I'm like, because I thrived in a really intimate room of like 100 to 300 people. It was like really great, and everybody could see each other.
You could do callbacks to each other.
Yeah, people get to know
more
each other
easily. I'm sure you do that all the time, but like,
yeah,
they really know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we had to like totally adjust the show. Now I have a roaming camera that's wireless that allows me to go to the.
And it's on a screen?
It's on a screen. I can go all the way to the back row. Yeah. So everybody in the room can see where I am, which it's actually changed the whole dynamic of the show. And I don't know why people haven't done this before, but but I guess they haven't needed to.
You mean, yeah, because people aren't going in the audience.
Yeah. But it's like they're getting the best of both worlds because they're seeing the live show now and they're also watching like the TikTok happen in real time too.
Right.
Because they're already looking at their screen. So they're seeing... They're like at home, I suppose, you know?
Right.
It's like a comfort zone. Like, oh, I could watch the screen. I'll be right next to somebody.
And they'll be watching
They'll be watching the...
Yeah.
And
I went to the Super Bowl and we're all watching the screen.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to.
You went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and I had to keep. Yeah, it was such a waste. I feel bad because I'm not a football fan.
Yeah,
but I am a spectacle fan.
Yeah, it's pretty
really
interesting.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I went to the Lakers game in the box, and I was like, this is cool.
Yeah. Who cares what's happening? But then when you can just kind of root for good football, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's like going to the Oscars but knowing you're not going to win.
Yeah.
You can just root for
Just hang out, get
good
drinks.
speeches.
Isn't it doesn't happen often, but when people don't expect to win and they just get blasted the whole night.
And then they do win.
They do win and they have to go up and give a speech and they're fucking drunk.
By the way, I can't stop thinking about Adrian Brody being like, turn the music off.
I didn't get to, I was traveling and I didn't get to see it.
Is that tearing up the internet, Katie? Is that like, are people talking about that? You didn't see it, but he was like, turn the music off. This isn't my first time. This isn't my first rodeo. I know what I'm doing. Like, cause I've given the best actor speech before. So he told them to turn the music up and he's like, I won't go long. And then he goes, I want to thank my mom and dad. Like some bullshit. I was like, you're like going to go long just to say more bullshit. Like if you had something worthy of the being turn that down. I have something to say. And then he's like, mommy. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This sucks.
People are really going after the people who won the best song for Amelia Perez and their acceptance speech. They were like, Amelia.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see this?
No.
Did you see this? Amelia Perez.
They sang it?
It was.
They sang their thank yous?
I was on the flight back. It was a weird thing to watch.
Yeah.
It was weird. That whole movie there's a whole aura around it that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Okay, I can't wait to. I'm sorry. I wish I could riff on it with you.
I haven't seen it, but the hearsay is incredible.
It's on the streets.
It's on the streets.
How do you feel after your show? After your second show, are you dead? Are you energized?
I feel great at the end when I'm done with the weekend. I feel like the last.
That's one of my favorite feelings too.
Yeah, it's like we did it.
We did it. How do you feel before the first show?
Well, even like in St. Louis, I was tired because we had to go Kansas City. We drove to St. Louis, and I was exhausted that day. It's like, you know how it is. You're traveling. It's like hard to get a good night's sleep, and you're just trying to stay healthy and make sure your voice doesn't give out. And but right before, the thing is, these crowds are so big now. Like, I get this like this sense of like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I feel that every time.
Every time, like this
Matt brings me up, and I go, wait. I'm going up there?
Yeah.
Like, I really feel that, yeah.
It's like, I'm just the guy who was a bicycle tour guide, like literally 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? It's insane.
Yeah.
And also, I will say this last year, I got more birthday wishes than I ever did in my whole life from people I hadn't heard from in a long time.
All of a sudden, you have some 5,000 cousins?
All of a sudden, it's like people I worked with at the Apple store are like, hey, bro, we're so proud of you, dude. I worked at the Apple store, too.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I see it right away.
Hey, it's mostly just resetting people's passwords. That's all it is. That's most of the job.
Yes.
That's most of the job.
Yeah, that's really fun. I have an Apple Store thing. Who cares? We're gonna skip it. I wonder where we were going with it. Is this your girl and riffing on stuff?
Oh yeah.
Does it ever go wrong?
It actually. We had a moment in Vegas last weekend. I have this bit called "Would You Be My Dad," where because my dad died. I have this whole song about where I try to find different people in the crowd to be my dad.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
Yeah, and then I picked somebody in the crowd who...
Oh, I love it. I should have said... I hate when people just go, I saw that. I saw that as great.
No, I assumed you hated it. No, it's one of my favorite bits to do.
Yeah.
And I picked this person who ended up being a very masked lesbian, like older.
Oh.
She must have been 60, but
Yeah.
had very masked, like looked like a dad.
Yeah.
She had dad energy.
I understand.
And then I look into the camera, I go, "Would you be my dad?" And then I look over there, and she was like, but I took it as, oh, they just don't want to be a part of the bit. But trust me,
You'll
love being. It's like, let me do exposure therapy. You're gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I said, "Would you be my dad?" And she's like, "I'm a woman." And I go, "Okay." And the whole crowd. So then I moved past her, said, I'm sorry. And then I go, "But why can't you be my dad?" And then we went back to her. She gave me a hug. It was like a whole thing. It actually turned into like a really positive experience.
That's great.
But that was interesting.
Yeah. That happened second time Ellen's come up in her, I don't know if it's her first special, but it's like kind of her most famous special, Blue Sneakers, starry backdrop. She's doing crowd work at the end or taking questions and she goes, "Yes, sir." And it's a woman.
Yeah.
And that's Ellen, who at that out lesbian. So, it's not bigotry or hate. It's just, it's your brain.
There's definitely like men who don't want to be at the show. Like there were definitely men in St. Louis who were like, I'll give you an example. There was a girl in one of the rows, and while I was in the crowd, she had a sign on her phone. It said, "Lesbians love you." And then I was like, all right, that's great. That's cool. The guy behind her looked like somebody who hated lesbians. I looked at him, he just was sitting there just like, Biden's America. I had that energy kind of,
Really?
It was just because when you get to the Midwest, right? And again, I apologize for doing like that blanket,
the broad brush,
the broad strokes coming to ABC this fall. But because my show really doesn't touch on any race, religion, politics for the most part. It's just like a horny show. We want to have fun and we have a goofy
it's a
time.
horny show. That's good.
Yeah.
Goofy.
It's a goofy show. So like there's a lot of different people coming to my shows. There's people who are proud Trump credit card carriers. They have a credit card with like Trump on it. And there's people who, with the septum piercing and like the purple hair, or the people who, drive the Ford F-150. Like my show, it's like a really bizarre eclectic mix.
Yeah.
So
when did the F-150 become the official car?
I don't know, but you know the type of person who's driving it.
Yeah, and it's always white.
It's all
always white. Get the white one.
Yeah.
That's how you let people know.
It's got a 3-inch lift kit on it.
It's got a 3-inch lift kit. I don't know what that means. Beautiful lift kit. One of the best. Lifts all the kits.
Yeah.
Lifts kit from Knight Rider. Love Knight Rider.
Your impression's too good, so I don't want to even try to do one. So I just
feel like
sing
it's a little off today, but yeah, I appreciate it.
But yeah, I think I sense sometimes there's people in the crowd that they probably don't love the show, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, because of lesbians.
Or because of lesbians, lesbians are there. No, it's because somebody, probably brought them, and there's like we talked about earlier, the kind of person who doesn't like my show is the kind of person who doesn't want to dance at a wedding, you know, or like they don't want to sing.
There are a lot of people not dancing at weddings. So that's okay.
Or like they're afraid to sing because they think it's silly.
Yeah,
and it's like you don't have to sing well. The auto tune is there so you guys can sing, and if we all sing together, nobody will know that you sing bad. It's not even about singing well.
Right.
It's about the joy of singing.
Yeah.
I get upset. I get like heated. I think because
it's not your voice. It's the collective voice now.
Yeah,
it's not your voice.
Do you know how good I feel when I'm at home and I just like sometimes I'm and I just sing for an hour on my guitar. I'm like alone.
Yeah.
After I'm done, I feel.
Well, what is it? It's your what is that called? Vagus nerve.
Is that what it is? I feel
your
wonderful.
New Orleans nerve.
Is that what it Yeah.
Well, singing activates your vagus nerve and it like releases all these like feel good chemicals and lowers stress and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I sing in the car on the way to this podcast.
Yeah.
I play yacht rock and I sing.
That's the Morgan J guarantee. You come to my show, your vagus nerve will be activated. Endorphins will be released. At the bottom,
I'm not a doctor.
This show is not FDA approved.
Strangely,
we actually do something in the show.
There is no more FDA. We took care of that.
That's right. That's right. We don't need approval for anything. We do have a part of the show called Tiny Dance Party now, where if I come across someone in the crowd who looks really bothered and annoyed, we put like very loud. I get glow sticks and I give them to people, and we just really try to get
turn them.
Yeah, we really try to turn them.
How many people are on this crew?
It's Topher, my assistant / piano player, Mossy, who is my cameraman / merch person, and that's it. And it's just the three of us. And then I have an opener for different shows. But I did my first show with a band last week, and we're going to expand the show to. I'm a big believer in not trying to be the best, but trying to evolve the most.
Oh, wow, that's a good tip.
Because if you try to be the best, you really have nowhere to go once you get whatever that means to you, right? Mm-hmm. But if you try to keep growing and changing, then it's kind of like always exciting, you know?
Yeah. That's brilliant.
So the band is just like the next evolution, and it's going to be like a James Brown music comedy type of experience, and going to start, figure that out. I think that's the next thing. We're going to do it for the first time on tour in Salt Lake, and then we're going to do it at the Beacon Theater in November.
Nice. That's fantastic.
We'll see how it goes.
Have you ever almost died?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I fainted in Chicago. I got a steroid shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Well, I had heard that sometimes when your voice is really tired, it's a muscle like anything else. You could get a steroid shot.
Yeah, I've heard
to help.
Yeah.
So I got the steroid shot. It was like I went to like an urgent care went there because I had 2 shows that night. And I was like, how am I going to do this? I have no fucking voice. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I got the steroid shot. And then normally when you get a steroid shot, I found out later, they're supposed to keep you there for like 10 minutes to see if you have any adverse reaction.
Yeah.
But I walked right out. I went to the Sweet Green right down the street. I got my bowl. I'm like, all right, let me eat now. I got the shot. And I started getting sweaty and lightheaded. And next thing I knew, I was like on the ground. And I was just looking up.
At a Sweet Green.
Yeah, on the concrete outside, right next to the beam.
Oh my God.
And then they took me to the hospital, and they just was, I guess.
Who are they? Who found you?
These 3 lovely lesbians, and like I said, they do love me. Which is this is not even, I'm not even making that up. It was crazy. These 3 lesbians literally started doing my own crowd work for me. They were like, "What's your name, bro? What do you do, bro? Where are you?" Yeah. That's the funny thing.
Have you got a shot recently?
Yeah. When you faint, people start doing crowd work to you. They ask you what day it is, what time it is, where are you from, what do you do for work?
What do you do? Like, that's funny.
What's going on here?
Doctors do crowd work. You come out of a coma, they're like, who's the president?
Yep. Let me tell you something about the president right now. Let me tell you.
Look at this guy. He doesn't even know where he is.
Yeah.
The nurses are laughing.
That's right. The nurses are like, oh, Dr. Hamlin.
That's very good. That's a good bit.
Yeah.
You should write that down.
I've done it. I was going to ask you this. When you have bits.
Club prov?
Club prov? What are you talking about? What is that?
It's when you do improv twice. It's
Okay.
when you discover a line when you're riffing.
Oh, and then you
keep doing it. It's called club prov.
Well, when you, let's say you have a joke that you know kills, right? And you're at a dinner party or something. These people have no idea. Let's say they don't know your material or your jokes.
Yeah.
But they're talking about something that you have a killer bit for.
Yeah.
Do you go, it's funny, I actually have a really fun joke about that. Or do you just kind of pepper the joke? You just like
sneak it in.
You just sneak in the joke. What do you
I go with A.
You just say, I have a funny joke.
I actually have a bit about that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And then I'll do it in a conversational way.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I notice when I do that.
Because what I just did was B.
Yeah. But you're on a podcast.
I'm on a oh yeah, that's true. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
That was a pro move.
Yeah. Panel type of.
It was wonderful.
Oh, great.
That's exactly. You played it perfectly right. Perfectly right. You ever see a ghost?
I know they exist.
What do you mean?
I just feel like they're around. I have a bit about ghosts a little bit.
Now you're doing it B.
Oh yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I like B.
Yeah.
B's correct. What do you mean? What is your ghost bit?
Well, I mean, I know I'm a spiritual person, and I know I'm spiritual because, like, I don't know if you're spiritual, but like I have to make sure I close all the closets in my room before I go to sleep.
Is that spiritual?
Yeah, because if you don't close the closet, like demons, they come out and they fuck you and they touch your butt a little bit. You think this is funny, but they made a documentary about this. It's called Monsters, Inc. You know that. You know that, right? Wazowski. Come on.
You don't understand how much I was believing you until you said Monsters Inc.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How you led me down a funhouse
So that was A, I think, too. I think
that was so fantastic because my brain was going a million. I'm like, he believes that you got to close the doors or demons. They made a doc.
No.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Sally will get you.
In real talk, I do come from a spiritual family. Like in Brazil, like my mom made me go to a place called João de Deus, John of God.
Oh, I know John of God.
We went to John of God.
You went to John of God?
John of God did this to me. He did that to me.
Did you do this?
I didn't do that. Sorry, I did that too.
I loved it.
But John,
the standing announced it.
Yeah.
I knew something was coming.
Came across, he was about to
so
touch
he
it.
did that to you. That would be a really big deal to millions of people.
Yeah, but then he was
Ramdas
later
went to
found
John of
out
God.
to be like a sexual assault person type of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
When I think about it, he was touching my butt.
A little bit. He was asking you?
Yeah, now that I think about it.
Wait, so you went not to be healed?
No, because my stepdad has Parkinson's, and he's done like a lot of different treatments. And
one of them was John of God.
My mom was like, "We're going to take him to John of God." And
isn't that like a huge wait? Don't you wait for days?
It was one of the longest fucking days of my life. I swear to God.
Really?
And in Brazil, there's like no infrastructure, so on the way back.
Wait, he's in Brazil?
No. They live part time and right now
John of God came to you.
No, John of God is in Brazil. We were in Brazil for this.
Okay.
But on the way back, a truck full of oranges turned over, and we were stuck on the two Way Road for like 6 hours because a truck of oranges.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
You mentioned Africa earlier. When I went to Uganda, there was like a 4-hour delay because there was an ostrich on the runway. Different parts of the world are having like old timing problems. Like a truck of oranges is like a problem.
Can we just drive over it? Like it's just gonna.
Let's Tropicana this shit. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. Ostriches and trucks of oranges are still a problem in certain infrastructures. It's true.
Could literally collapse an economy if a truck of oranges falls over.
Yeah, they're planning a huge thing. Everything will go perfectly unless there's a spill of oranges or an ostrich.
It's like it's literally out of a comedy. It's like, but the oranges fell over. The wedding is off.
Shut it down.
We can't go on with the wedding.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
So, and did you feel anything when Juan de Dios did that?
No, I was just so tired and exhausted. And I know from my stepdad, it was a long day for him because he's had like a lot of different surgeries and stuff. I'll tell you what he said off camera.
What John, or your dad?
My stepdad, what he said off camera.
What happened to your dad?
He died of the colon cancer.
Right. Yeah. And when did that happen?
When I was 6. So I was like 93.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I hate to. This is where my mind always goes 6 around the time. Yeah, I mean,
I'm still pliable. I'm still like, like they say plastic or something like that,
Yeah. You're going with the flow.
There's a better recovery than like my older brother.
God, it works.
He's like, he was about 10.
Yeah.
And so that's like a tough age.
I've heard that it's very dark, but I've heard 11, that little kids can sometimes roll with great loss a little bit more easily. Like they're like, oh, I guess that's a thing that happens.
I mean, what I remember is like I rode into a limo for the first time,
That's really funny.
Yeah. I was like, let's go to TV in here. My dad's dead.
Can we have these Cokes?
Yeah, exactly. So
these Cokes are ours?
Yeah.
And how do you think that impacted you?
I don't know. I mean, I will say it's like, even in the song I have, the first line is like, hard to miss something I never had. Like I have this whole like Newsies type of energy with it, You
drop a crutch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm literally walking around and doing this, like really playing it up. But my dad,
you go ahead.
My dad was a pop star in Argentina. He was, I know I know he was born in Sicily, grew up in Argentina, was a singer in Argentina. When he moved to America, became a chef. And I mean, I think
didn't even try for pop star.
It's hard. I know. It's hard. It's hard to do the crossover in America.
Just went right to the chef's whites.
Yeah, right to the chefs.
He didn't busk one day.
Well, what somebody made clear to me is that he was known as the singing chef. There's like news articles about him. Oh. So in New York at the time, you could go to a restaurant. He would cook the dinner and then come out with a guitar and sing to the patrons.
And I have mixed feelings about that because you ever smell your fingers after you play a guitar? Got that nylon string metallic smell?
Well, nylon strings you don't have an odor really.
Oh yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have said nylon, but steel strings, steel strings.
But he's cooking first and then singing.
But then he's cooking a little bit more, I bet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to see.
But he's not cooking like one of those Indian street vendors where they're putting their whole arm in it. You know what I'm talking
Every
about?
chef. This is the dirty little secret of America. You ever watch any chef? You're getting some fingies.
Yeah, I see Gordon Ramsay.
You want it.
You want a little bit.
You
of
want it.
Have you seen the video of the guy pouring the water out of the wine out of the spigot? You know what I'm talking about? You go to like a nice Italian restaurant. They put wine, and it's like a very fancy wine distributor.
Yeah.
And he moves his finger, and the wine comes out, and like every ounce of wine grazes his finger.
And that's part of his secret?
And that people drink the wine. I don't know.
I'm saying unconsciously, if a robot made your food, we would start missing what we consider to be
that human element,
an almost subperceptual human element for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a little bit gross.
They did an episode of Seinfeld about where like they found a rubber band in it in the soup, and they're like, "Oh, Paco, he's cooking today."
Poppy.
Yeah.
Oh no, Poppy's
that was a different one.
Guy.
I know that episode, but yeah.
Facts.
Anyway.
So anyway, your dad, and then how it impacted you. Did you become like a desperate showman? Oh
yeah. I mean, I was youngest son, class clown, obnoxious, just like seeking attention.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, a teacher called home, and I was a good student too. But a teacher called my mom and was like, there's special schools for your son and like special meds for him, like he's being buried. And my mom was like, he's just a happy boy. Like to her credit,
yeah,
and But I don't know about like if he. I mean, you know, he did play some music for me when he was alive, and I could remember he played like piano and he sang like the Barney song and La Bamba, and he'd be there to like pick me up at the bus stop, you know, from school and stuff like that. So, I mean, I will say like now that I'm touring and traveling and singing and literally going into the crowd, I'm like, kind of getting a nice, beautiful twist. Like I'm learning what his life was probably like because he toured and traveled all over Europe and South America. And
that's right.
So that's pretty cool, you know.
It's interesting. Do you think your decision to not have kids is because you can see how painful it is to lose a parent?
A little bit. I just feel like I'm a little bit selfish, and the lifestyle I lead is like, I don't know if I can give.
Yeah,
I hear when you have the kid, it's like your life is the kid.
Well, it's interesting because that's true. I would phrase it, and you always have to say this up top. I love my daughter more than anything, and that's sort of what it is. Is like that's why your life ends.
Yeah,
it's not like you have to stop playing video games. It's that you want to stop playing video games.
Just want to hang out with them,
so you can be with them and do what they want to do. But then before you know it, you'll be like, oh, all my stuff is gone. That's why we had one, because one really feels like. We're always like, I think we found this nice little middle way.
Yeah, how old do they know?
6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, you're not wrong. And when people are kind of like, sometimes people like conflate having like being a good time with kids and being a parent. I'm like, yeah, it's good to have that skill, but being a parent really is an exercise in like sacrifice and
patience and things like that.
But like laying it all down and burning it down and allowing that. I mean, here we are doing my podcast. It's not like everything's over, but like your priorities really shift. So I support your choice.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a Western culture thing, but I mean, even when my parents were bringing me up, like they still had parties and like I think like Europeans, and they'll have kids and just like let them pass out at the party. Like they'll be drinking and hanging out and the kids are just like passed out on the sofa. Right. They're like, let's just whatever.
Well, modern parenting, that's what's funny is like even the way I was raised in Boston in the 80s, very different from the way that I'm raising my daughter. That's the thing my parents say to me the most is like, we never did that with you.
Yeah.
We never did that.
And look at you, you're a freak.
I'm a fucking freak, dude. Well, what is it? I don't know if it's the FDA. It's not the FDA, but some fucking government health administration is like having children is a health risk. Modern parenting is a health risk. I think in the 80s it was like people used to have kids because they needed staff on the farm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need some sturdy
legs
and arms.
This will be useful.
Yeah, coal mines.
This will be useful in 6 years, 7 years. And now I'm like, how can I make sure she feels seen?
Yeah.
What was do you freestyle? I'm not going to ask you to freestyle.
Like kind of, but I'm like not good at it. And I lean into that.
I like that.
You know, like I'm not going to pretend that I am Harry Mack, you know? H Mac, who's incredibly talented. Like I'm not that dude.
I don't understand what's going on with that dude.
Yeah, I bring a lot of charisma and fun and joy. Like I'm goofing off.
Yeah, you're goofing.
You're
straight goofing.
I'm straight goofing. Let's all get it. Let's get a. I don't care if any of us know how to freestyle. Let's get a beat going and everybody try to freestyle.
Yeah. I like it.
And let's see what happens. I don't care.
Just relax.
Just relax and go with the flow. Like that's where I'm at with the freestyle.
Go with the
flow. Yeah. So sometimes I will freestyle and I will hit a pocket and I'm like,
that's everybody. I also freestyle in my car.
Yes.
It's so fun.
I have a freestyle playlist.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you look at other people when you're in your car?
Yeah.
I never look at other people in my car.
People
think I'm weird. I just. But by the way, I'm
looking in windshields to see where their eyes are.
Oh yeah.
That's how you know if you can change lanes. Is this person alert or are they second screening reality?
Yeah. I did have a question for you regarding traffic, and because I
get a lot of traffic stuff.
There is a clip of yours that went a little viral, I think.
Ways
of that I've seen, or maybe it was on my feed. I don't know, but it was about how like people get like road rage and people get really angry in like traffic or when there's a delay.
Yeah.
And even before hearing that, I had that like, if we're delayed, like we're delayed.
Yeah. What can you do?
We just need to accept this. But I wonder, is there a limit
for me?
Yeah. Like at what point is the delay? Because we had a tough travel day like 2 weeks ago where it was like dude, a plane full of oranges. It fell over on the runway.
Yeah. And an ostrich was eating them.
Yeah. It was insane. No,
You had a bad travel day.
But it was just like it was a long day. It should have been a 5-hour travel day that turned into like a 12-hour travel day. Yeah, and normally like I have plenty of things to do. I'm a firm believer in only boring people get bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I bring plenty of activities and ways to entertain myself. Sure. I could write, I could watch, whatever it is, read. I learned how to do all those things, which is pretty crazy. And so, yeah, I just, but that day was tough. I was like really tired and annoyed that day.
I understand. You know, a big thing for me is to allow and forgive however you're feeling. So I've been saying on this podcast a lot, like, don't get mad hearing something you already knew. So if somebody's acting like how they always act, why are you getting mad?
Yeah, you know.
And now I'm like, yeah, but also you can get mad, but then recognize that you're just getting mad at something you already knew, and then that can help you surrender to it and just let it pass through your system.
Yeah.
But so yeah, of course there's a limit. There's been times when I'm on my way to
Is there a number on it? Is it like 4 hours? Is it 8 hours?
It's not really time contingent. Yeah. It's like if I'm on my way to a flight, it'll get a little bit more intense. Here's where I'm real good at it, which is kind of where that bit is from. When I was flying back from the Super Bowl, I got there at the airport at 4:30 in the morning. My flight was at like 7. And then that flight didn't take off until like, I think like 3 or 4 p.m. So it was supposed to be a 3-hour travel day, and it ended up being like an 18-hour travel day with driving home from the airport. And I'm very good at that. I'm very good at that because there's nothing you can do. But if I'm driving to the airport and I hit a traffic jam and I'm worried about my flight, that's way harder for me to practice what I preach. But you can still do it. You just have to really zoom out and be like...
My team is learning, like, they weren't ready for the amount of, like, how this travel is.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't. They were like...
You were.
I had already been doing it.
Yeah.
They weren't quite ready for it.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't know how you did this every week, and this is incredibly exhausting, you know? But you kind of have to go, and I feel like you have to go into, like, a weird... I don't want to say hibernative state, but when you travel, you have to completely shift your state of mind.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to completely shift it.
Get there early and then surrender and allow.
Chill out.
Well, the great thing about the difference between being at the airport and the flight being delayed 18 hours or whatever it was, the day being 18 hours long, and being when I'm in the car and I hit the traffic, I'm like, maybe I could have taken a different route. I should have checked the traffic. I should have left earlier. I feel you can start beating yourself up. When it's just Delta or whatever, it's United, you're just like, well, what can I do? Like getting mad won't help anything.
Yeah.
And then it's really easy for me to be like, and now I just have to sit in this chair. You know what I mean? You go like, I'll just be sitting in this chair in a climate controlled room, and there's food and there's stuff to do. It's fine.
The one thing when I travel is make sure I'm always fed.
Yeah, don't travel hungry.
I overeat when I travel.
That's interesting that I agreed with you because on that day I did, but I talk about fasting. I usually fast when I travel because you don't really need to eat. You're just sitting in a chair.
That's true, yeah.
But I mean, you can see it both ways.
But you can see the minute you get hungry. This is riveting stuff.
No, I love it. I was trying to think of what have we...
What have we not covered?
What was your first memory of being funny? Like as a kid, do you have a memory that you were like, oh, I'm funnier than other people? And I asked that for the pleasure of you remembering it.
Yeah, I have one memory in particular. I was running for president of my freshman class of school. And high school, yeah. And we had to give speeches. And somebody had gifted me a tiny guitar this big. And it had 3 buttons on it. And each button made like a sound. Like a different little riff. And then I went up there and I said some bullshit. And I said, to my fellow students, I have one last thing to close with. And I took the tiny guitar out and obviously for these 8th graders, they were like, oh my God, Morgan's crazy. What does he do? Yeah. He's sticking it to the system. We're going to vote for him. And then I won. I won. And the year after that, I did something.
This is your skill. You know your audience.
Yes.
You've always been able to dial into your audience.
I'm like so tapped in. I always say like, be your first fan.
Yes.
Be the first person to buy your own merch. I'm wearing it. Be like to buy your own merch, to put your own song on a playlist, to hang your own art on a wall.
Yes.
Because if like you don't do it or don't want to do it, then.
And if you don't see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Then how can you expect these other people? And also like I operate it in my show like I use the word hospitality a lot in my show. So when I'm doing sound check or getting the show ready, I'm like walking the room. I'm like trying to figure out like lines of sight. Like, can everybody see me properly? Like, I want everybody to get like their money's worth. You know, I heard Sebastian on a podcast talk about like, you know, when people buy a ticket to your show, they're not just buying a ticket to the show. You know, they're paying for parking and they're paying for a babysitter and they're getting food and they're, you know, it ends up being a very expensive night for them. Yeah. So you know, you want to make sure they have a good night because these people work hard and it's like the end of the week. They're exhausted. They might have gotten into a fight on the way there. Like you might be the last thing between them and a divorce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally, I think about these things. You know?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. I was with it until that last one. I'm like, that's not my responsibility.
That's not my responsibility. But
I understand.
We bought them time. I could buy them time.
I understand. Yeah. As people that feel like you're keeping your parents together your whole childhood,
but also
it's gonna be difficult
at the same time.
Last one.
I will say I break people up.
Oh, really?
100%. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, I got a DM from a girl like after a show in Dania Beach. She was like, my boyfriend and I broke up after your show because of X, Y, and Z, and like he didn't like this or that. Or I've had a couple.
What did it have to do with the show? That
I like sang to her and I took a selfie with her, and I guess because I was like, you know, I'm like I like flirt with audience members.
Yeah, sure.
But I guess it
was too much.
I guess
he got jealous.
He got jealous, and he probably wasn't a fan of my comedy to begin with. And like this guy's coming and singing to my girl, and she's all like, you know. And I'm probably just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? It's like
you were the excuse.
Yeah, and in a way, I probably it was a blessing for them to like not be together anymore. You know, if this breaks your relationship,
probably wasn't
meant to be.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like when they walked elephants over the Brooklyn Bridge. If it breaks with the elephants, it's not going to like the cars.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But I forgot what the original question was, but
me too.
Yeah.
Well, the first time you were funny, we were talking
about.
Oh,
yeah. The class clown stuff. Yeah. I mean, I got voted class clown in 8th grade. Before that, my mom had told me a story. She was like, I didn't even know that he was really a singer or he wanted to do this stuff. We were at a Christmas party and then he just like started singing the 12 Days of Christmas. And I'm like, I didn't really know that he was doing this stuff, you know?
This was you.
This was me singing at like, you know, very young age.
Yeah.
Cut to now, dude, I did the Town Hall Theater in New York and I was able to bring her, I got her like a black car. I got her like an Escalade. I picked her up. She lives in White Plains. I picked her up. She, you know, brought her on stage. She told me later, she's like, this was one of the best moments of my life. I can't believe this. And it was like, it was really emotional. It was like really amazing but going back to the
Can I interject?
Yeah.
One time my parents came and visited me out here and I was like, we're doing it proper. I'm going to send a black car to the airport.
Oh boy. Did they get an Uber anyway? Did they go the wrong way?
I told them, I was like, when you get there, look for a guy who's going to have a sign that says your name. Holmes. It's going to say Holmes. Just find that guy. Yeah. My dad doesn't bring his cell phone. They come out. He doesn't bring it. So I'm calling him, trying to say, did you find the car? Did you find the car? It's my mom's cell phone is dead. They get there. They didn't find the guy. They get there and they're just like, I didn't see any car. He was there.
Of course.
And it was in it was Santa Barbara Airport.
There's no way you can miss him.
You couldn't have missed him. One guy in a suit. And there's just such a... I was like, this is such a familiar feeling. I tried so hard to have this was the greatest day of my life, but instead there was no driver.
They're like upset with you?
There's no driver.
What kind of shady business you running, Pete?
It was rough.
You don't care about your parents?
It was rough. Anyway, sorry, that was my interject.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, she enjoyed it.
But I'm glad it worked for you.
She's not the kind of person who wants to come on. My manager went up to her and was like, okay, you got to come with me now. Like out of the audience. She's like, you know,
and what did you sing to her?
No, I didn't sing it. I just said right after my first bit, I'm just sort of like, you know, guys, my mom is here tonight. I have family here tonight. She's like held this family together, you know. And you know, I said something like, I want to give, you know, half as much back to her as she's given the whole family, and I want to introduce my mom. So, you know, she's like an immigrant. She like came here with a suitcase, and now now I'm here doing, you know, these sold out shows here, and it was like a cool moment for her. Yeah. So funnily enough, not too far from that venue, when I was like 6 months into doing stand up, I had done my first bringer show at Caroline's on Broadway. R.I.P. Caroline's. And R.I.P. I didn't really know how far, like deep the rabbit hole of comedy went. And I bombed it was my first time really bombing hard. Yeah. It was like a 7-minute set. But mind you, I went in with the mentality like, I'm at Caroline's, this is it. I made it.
Yeah.
If I kill it here tonight, that's it.
Minted.
I'm done.
Ready.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
And I did terrible. My mom was there. My stepdad was there. I had like coworkers there. I was like 20. Yeah, I was 20. This was like the first year. It was like a very quiet car. Nobody said anything in the car ride home, you know. And the next day, my mom was like, she doesn't remember this, but the next day she was like, you know, we didn't really say anything in the car last night because you were awful. It was very bad, and you can do better than that. You know that, and I know that. So that's why we didn't say anything, dude.
But you were awful.
Yeah.
I was ready for your mom to lie to you and be like,
no. She's like, you were awful.
Nope.
You were bad. Which, you know, in a way, like to her credit, like I suppose that's better than her lying to me and being like, you did great, honey. Because I know I did bad.
Anybody that does that deserves respect. And like, I could never do that. And it's not easy. I mean, there's other ways to put that. Meanwhile, can I tell you the story behind this hat? Much lice. Much lice, bro.
So after the show, she texted me the next day or like a week. I don't know what it was, but she goes, Morgan, that was one of the best days of my life. I love you so much. I wish you so much joy and much lice in your life. Like much, she meant to say much life, but she said much lice. And then I was talking about this on stream, and a fan heard the story on my stream and made me the hat.
Much lice.
Much lice, dude.
That's beautiful.
I wish you so much lice, dude.
I wish you much lice.
I wish you much lice. I wish you much lice.
I wish you much lice.
Yeah, I wish you much lice.
That's beautiful. Much lice.
Much lice.
You got a good lice, man.
Hey, man, it's been a good lice.
I'm happy for you.
You know, if I could look back on my lice and really think about the choices I made, my lice could have turned out differently.
I get it. I'm pro-lice.
You know, I'm pro-choice, but pro-lice.
You can kill those lice for sure.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the much lice thing is just a funny inside joke for me and everybody else who knows the story now. So
I love it.
You know.
Well, let's close it out. I have two things I want to do. One is a question. Can you tell me the time you laughed the hardest in your life? Does that bring up a memory for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the first time I got high.
On marijuana?
I hate to sound cliche, but I was in college. I was like a freshman in college. I never smoked in my life before. I took a huge fat bong rip. Everybody looked at me like, what are you doing? I didn't know.
Yeah. I was like that the first time I smoked.
I didn't know. I coughed for like 10, 15 minutes. I was like in the bathroom, like my eyes red. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But after that went away,
you laughed.
Boy, oh boy, did I laugh my heart out, man. It was it was incredible. And then the last time I cry laughed was this comic that he just opened for me in St. Louis. I think he's honestly one of the funniest people there is. This guy Mandel out of Atlanta. He's moving to LA. He's actually going to be doing warm up for John Mulaney's show on Netflix.
Oh, fun!
But we were just in a car. He's just like, you know, these people are just funny.
Yeah,
like a Rory Scovel. You know, like,
yeah.
People are just like
funny.
They're
people.
just funny people.
There's good comedians and there's
just
funny people who are sometimes good comedians. Yeah,
and sometimes they're bad comedians.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
They're just like he's this guy. He's both. He's a great comedian and he's just funny. And we were just I don't know what he even said, but I just cry laughing. It was so funny the way he talks. It just
makes me happy.
Yeah, what a joy to be around. I just want to hang out with him just to hopefully. He's like my fix, and I'm like, I need you. I need that because you know we see so much comedy now that you know how it is. It's like you see that premise kind of like that joke or like
the formula.
You know, so it's hard to get that. Most of the stuff that make us cry laugh, it's like just goofy stuff that happens.
Totally.
You know,
and I think pure. It has to be clean.
Giannis Papas said in a podcast once, he was like, "We're all just trying to be as funny as a fart."
That's true.
A fart is just there's not even a setup or punchline. It's just
there's a setup.
Yeah,
there's a punchline.
But you hear it and you're just like, oh, that's funny.
Reality is the setup, and the fart is the punchline.
Yeah,
but I know what he means.
You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I would say we're trying to be as funny as someone falling down.
Oh yeah,
and not being hurt.
Yeah,
they fall in it and they're not hurt and they're slipping and maybe
I mean that video of the woman falling in the grapes. You ever see that video?
Of course. It's
classic.
Funnier than stand up with the sound off, even just seeing her fall. I agree. The other one is, do you want to sing at the same time? It's a game we sometimes play.
Okay, yeah.
You just sing what I sing, and we can take turns if you want.
Okay.
But this song is called. What's this song called? It doesn't have to.
Gluck Gluck Juice.
Gluck Gluck Juice. Have middle of No, you're leading too much. You're leading too much. You can't do it. Have you ever been in the mood for a meal, but it's liquid? Have you ever been in the mood for a meal, but it's liquid? But the oranges from the highway in Brazil in a Vitamix. You lead up, all you.
Have you ever seen the sun rise? But it looks like an orange. Have you ever touched your hair and it has much lice? Much lies. It's what your mother said. And a fan on Twitch makes this hat sitch. And I'm the first to wear. How did I do? Did I do okay?
A+.
Okay. Was it good? Amen.
When you say keep it crispy, it's how we end.
Hey, baby, keep it crispy. Keep it crispy.
Is this your girl?
This is your girl. Are you making love tonight? Keep it crispy.
You know you make love tonight.
Thank you.
Keep it crispy.
Keep it crispy. Keep it crispy.
You made it weird. You made it weird. You made it weird. Oh yeah. You made it weird. You made it weird.